Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
It's another sun-drenched Sunday in the Cactus League. We're in Scottsdale, where today the D-backs will host the defending American League champion Cleveland Indians. We've had record crowds all spring long, and attendance is at capacity again today. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers. Good afternoon from Salt River Field to Talking Stick. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Luis Gonzalez along the way. Gonzo filling in for Bob Brenly as the D-backs host the Indians. And Gonzo, BB may not be here today, but Yasmani Tomas is batting cleanup in the lineup for the first time in nearly 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's missed a significant amount of time. He worked yesterday in the backfields. They're hoping they can speed up the process, get him a lot of at-bats, and get him ready to go for next week.
Yeah, we'll check the health of Yasmani Tomas after that oblique injury. Should be a good pitching matchup as well. Robbie Ray on the mound for the D-backs against former Diamondback Trevor Bauer for Cleveland. It's the Indians and the Diamondbacks from Scottsdale. First pitch coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Amstel X-Lite. Grab the 90 cal 2-car beer with great taste today. By Northern Arizona University. At NAU, we see possibility in every direction. By Tire Pros, everything rotates around you. And by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. Another packed house here in Scottsdale. You might not recognize him without his beard, but that's Robbie Ray, about to make his 6th Cactus League start, taking on the American League champion Cleveland Indians. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Steve Berthiaume, Luis Gonzalez along the way on a beautiful sunny Sunday in the Cactus League. We had a record crowd of more than 14,000 here Thursday against the Cubs, and it's another packed house as the Cleveland Indians come into town to face Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks. D-backs about to become extremely familiar with the Indians, the defending American League champions. Here today, we'll also see the Tribe at Chase Field, Gonzo, for the final 2 games of the spring this week. And that'll be Thursday and Friday. Have both those games on TV for you. Here is today's order for the Cleveland Indians. Presented by Amstel X Light.
Yeah, leading off in center field will be Jackson, followed by Brantley, Gomes, and Almonte. Rounding it out with Geyer, Calabello, Robertson, Urshela, and Martinez. Not a lot of the big name guys that you're going to recognize, but they're nonetheless finishing up spring training, getting some work in today.
And Michael Brantley is back and healthy, coming off a bicep and shoulder problem. He's been gone for the better part of the last year and a half for Cleveland, so having him back in their everyday lineup is a big bonus for the Tribe. And don't forget, the Indians will be back after the games at Chase Field later this week. Those are exhibition games. Cleveland comes right back for a 3-game series, April 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's the second series of the season against after the opener against the Giants. Yeah, quite an interesting start to the schedule there. It's very ironic that you're going to see these guys today and then the next couple games there at Chase Field, but we'll get very familiar with a lot of these guys on the Cleveland Indians here in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, the Tribe has hit the ball really well in the Cactus League as Robbie Ray and Diamondbacks take the field. Cleveland has recorded double-digit hits in 5 straight games in 11 of their last 15. In fact, the Indians have more hits and more extra base hits this spring than any team in the major league. So Robbie Ray will have his work cut out for him here on a warm, sunny Sunday in Scottsdale. Robbie Ray is your starting pitcher for the D-backs. His numbers last year, 8-15, the ERA just under 5. But he's having an outstanding spring, 3-0 in 5 starts with a 2.70 ERA. Gonzo, he's looked good. Yeah, he really has. And I think the thing that he's tried to work on this spring is just trying to be more effective with his pitch count, trying to get him into the ball games a lot later and give a lot less stress to the bullpen coming into games early. And you saw the numbers last year, 4th in the National League in strikeouts. This spring, 18 strikeouts in just under 17 innings of work. Look who's back, Yasmani Tomas, as we take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers. Yeah, Yasmani Tomas, as you said, out in center field and rounded out, or excuse me, in left field, rounding out in the, with Fuentes, excuse me, in center field. Right fielder will be Peralta. There you see behind the plate is Herman. Playing first base, Goldschmidt. At second base will be Negron. The third baseman, Del Scazzo, and at shortstop, Owings. Our umpires today, Bill Miller is behind the plate. He's got the balls and strikes, and the umpires on the bases will rotate as they see fit. That's Mike Klinsky, Tom Woodring, and Chris Siegel. So here are the Indians. We'll see a lot of them this week, as we mentioned. Cleveland coming off a 10-7 loss to the White Sox in Goodyear yesterday. A 13-14 record this spring with 3 ties. The defending American League champions. They'll open their season April 3rd against the Texas Rangers in Arlington. That'll be Corey Kluber starting for the Tribe against the Rangers, Yu Darvish, and then Cleveland's right back here in the Valley to take on the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. It should be a lot of fun. Very interesting this year. We brought in a lot of different veteran names, not the big prototypical names that you'd hear out there in the free agent market. Guys like Del Scalzo, who will be a very important part to the piece of the puzzle here this year with the Diamondbacks. Austin Jackson, the veteran outfielder, set to lead it off. And we're set to go. This is the second to last game of the year for the Diamondbacks at Salt River Field. They'll finish up in Scottsdale tomorrow at home against the Angels, and then it's off to Chase to round out the spring. There's ball 1. We're underway. Jackson signed with the Indians in January, played last season with the White Sox. And he's here on a minor league deal with Cleveland that included an opt-out for today. So he had the choice, if he didn't think he was going to make the club, to leave today. But apparently he's decided to stick around. His numbers last year with the White Sox. Just over 50 games, hit .254 without a home run. But he's had a great spring, Austin Jackson. .375 with a homer. He's knocked in 5. Robbie yanked that one a bit. He's behind on Austin Jackson, 3-1. It's hard to recognize Robbie Ray without that beard.
A little different look. Let's hope he's got some sunscreen on today. He'll get a nice little burn out there.
I wonder if this means that Archie Bradley has to shave his beard. Is that the rule?
We'll find out.
Well, a leadoff walk, Austin Jackson aboard. And that'll bring up the man who everyone in Cleveland is thrilled to see back in the lineup. The left fielder, Michael Brantley. Only able to play in 11 games with Cleveland last season because of a nagging right shoulder problem. And last year, while he was trying to get over the shoulder surgery, he wound up needing right bicep surgery in August, so he's coming off that as well. It's been a long road back for Michael Brantley. He's just returned to Cactus League play. He's only 4 for 12 on the spring. And Robbie having trouble finding the strike zone so far.
There's no doubt when Brantley came up to the big leagues, he was definitely an impact player at an early age coming up. He's just been unable to avoid the injuries that have plagued him throughout his career.
He came back from that really problematic shoulder injury, got in only 39 at bats, and then needed bicep surgery. So it's been a long haul. He gets a hold of one here and drives it to right field. And there it goes. Michael Brantley, his first home run this spring, and 2 batters in. It's 2-0 Cleveland.
Definitely not the start there that Robbie Ray has wanted. He's falling behind both hitters, and when you do that, hitters start keying in, looking for those fastballs, and he got one there and didn't miss it. Here you see the pitch right over the heart of the plate in the upper part of the strike zone, 95 miles an hour. And you're cheating, looking for a fastball, especially a lefty-lefty situation. Look for that pitch to drive, and he got it.
Yeah, Brantley has been back playing spring games less than a week. Terry Francona has described him as amazingly normal considering what he's been through health-wise. And he certainly looked healthy there. Here's the catcher, Yan Gomes. There's a strike. It's 0-1. Gomes having a good spring, 324 with 2 homers. And it was a struggle for him offensively last year. Another Indian who battled health problems, had to be shut down right after the All-Star break with a separated right shoulder, and didn't make it back until the very end of September. So Gomes finished the year last season at 167 with 9 homers. Pops it straight up, foul ground first base side for Goldie.
Got a good pitch hit there, and he just shot it right up the elevator chute. Tough play for Goldie, especially with the sun out.
It is bright. The switch hitter, Abraham Almonte, having a good spring. He's hit safely in 10 straight Cactus League games. And he's hitting .390 with a couple of home runs this spring. First pitch swinging is bounced up the middle. Tough play for Chris Owings. He can't get there, and it rolls into center for a 1-out single.
Monty being aggressive there at the plate. And you talked about it earlier about their impressive numbers that they've put up this spring. American League teams always known to have those guys that are free swingers up there at the plate, and this ball club is no different. There's a reason why they were the champs in the American League last year coming up.
And you add to that lineup a healthy Michael Brantley, then Edwin Encarnacion, and all he brings to the table, and suddenly Cleveland might be the best team in the American League. Brandon Guyer, the DH today. Almonte does have a couple of stolen bases this spring. He can run. Guyer acquired at the trade deadline last year from Tampa Bay for a couple of minor leaguers. And between the Indians and the Rays last year, played in just over 100 games. Hit .266 with 9 homers.
I think what's impressive about the Cleveland Indians, they keep running out these young players, and they keep coming up to the big leagues and producing. Then they sprinkle them in with a couple free agents.
Yep. They have a whole bunch more guys coming up. Andy Diaz, a youngster they like a lot, who may be their third baseman for a while. Bradley Zimmer their first-round pick not too long ago. It's had an impressive spring. Robbie ahead in the count, 0-1. Robbie's previous start was last Tuesday against the Royals here at Salt River Field, and he looked very good. 5 innings against Kansas City. Gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, threw 78 pitches, and was really pleased with everything after his start last week. There you see our new pitch cast graphic. We'll keep track of the pitch, the location, the velocity, everything you need to know. There it is, and we'll keep that sequence going for you on the bottom of the box there, so you can see, Gonzo, how the pitchers are attacking these hitters so far from Robbie. Fastball, slider.
Oh, I like that. I like that new graphic. I think it's going to be great for the fans at home to get a kind of an inside look to see what's going on with the pitcher and the pitch selection that they take every time they face a different hitter.
Chris Herman sets up, down and away. Fastball is fouled off. Robbie has spent much of this spring mixing in a lot of his breaking pitches, both sliders and curveballs, and he's flashed a changeup that really has looked as good as it's ever looked at the big league level. So it'll be interesting to see how often he throws that changeup here today. Here's the 0-2. He'll keep Almonte close. And what Robbie has said his #1 goal coming into the spring was trying to land those off-speed pitches in the strike zone, and he feels like he's done a really good job with that. Throw that slider for strikes, throw that curveball for strikes. Trying to get quicker outs and become more efficient.
Well, I think what he's doing now, it's tough when you play defense behind that. His pace of game, to me, is one of the things that he needs to try to work on to speed up a little bit, because when you're playing out there defense, you give up a couple hits, a home run. Now these guys have been standing around out there for a while. He's very deliberate when he wants to be, but a lot of times, more times than not, he's very, very slow when he's receiving the signs from the catcher.
And that pitch we just saw is one other thing that he's done well this spring. Came into the right-hand hitter with a hard fastball and just missed. It's a ball and 2 strikes. So fastball in. You can see Chris Herman maybe setting up, down and away. Almonte breaks for second. To throw from Herman on one hop to Negron, and Abraham Almonte has his 3rd stolen base of the spring.
He got a pretty good jump there, and obviously when you got the left-handed pitcher, they're going to go on first movement. You see Almonte just reading the leg. Once the leg comes up, he takes a good jump. Herman had no chance of getting him.
So Almonte at second base. Still only 1 out, 2 runs are in on the Brantley homer. And here's the 2-2 to Brandon Guyer. Lifted in the air along the right field line. Headed out toward no man's land, and it's in the seats. Chris Colabello back from Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic. The first baseman today. He's on deck.
A lot of guys have come back now trying to get acclimated with their teams. Some guys new teams.
Robbie for the most part sticking with fastballs against Guyer. Another one that time missed, and it's a full count, 3-2. Yeah, the Indians had a number of guys playing the WBC. Giovanni Urshela, the 3rd baseman today. Of course, Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, who's not in the lineup this afternoon. Well, he was ahead of Guyer, but lost him second. Walk in the inning for Robbie Ray, and that'll bring up Chris Colabello.
Chris Owings going to come in, give him a little chat there, give him a little breather now. 19 pitches already with 1 out.
He's given up 2 walks, a single, and a home run. And Mike Butcher not liking what he's seeing. It's funny, Gonzo, that he's missing by as much as he is or throwing as many pitches that aren't strikes because he's stuck so far mostly with fastballs. And that fastball command we've seen with Robbie can waver from time to time. It's not always been there.
Yeah, and you'd like to think sometimes in spring training when it's early, a lot of guys are working on certain pitches, you know, whether it's throwing that fastball either on the inner half or outer half or working on changeups or sliders or something for a particular day. But these are the final tune-ups right here, and you'd like to see him finishing up strong before the start of the season.
Chris Colabello, the former Minnesota Twin and Toronto Blue Jay, signed with Cleveland in December. Almonte, the runner at second and Geyer at first. Colabello jumps on the first one and drives it deep to left center field, and that ball's gone. Chris Colabello, his 3rd home run this spring, and very quickly it's 5-0 Cleveland. Colabello homered for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic, and now he's got 3 this spring for the Tribe.
He got a fastball right over the heart of the plate, 93 miles an hour. More times than not, when the pitching coach goes out there after a pitcher's been struggling, you're going to look for a fastball, and he got it. A rough inning right here for Robbie Ray.
Sure it has, especially considering how well he's pitched all spring long, but down 5-0. Still just 1 out. And here's the second baseman, Daniel Robertson. He looks at strike 1.
He took a lot off of that pitch there, 78 miles an hour. That's 21 pitches now in, and you're down by 5 in the first.
2 walks and 2 home runs in the inning.
And the one thing I saw with the 2 home runs that he's given up have been elevated in the strike zone, just high pitches.
Saw the same problem with Taijuan Walker yesterday against the Angels in Tempe.
See that breaking ball down. He's working a lot quicker now.
Dan Robertson, 31 years old, fewer than 300 major league plate appearances for his career. Signed with Cleveland in November. He spent last season with Seattle. Just 9 games for the Mariners last year. Bounced to first. Goldie well off the bag, as he often is. And he's got it for the 2nd out.
That was a much needed out right there for Robbie Ray. Having to swing at a pitch out over the outer half of the zone. Robertson grounds out to Goldie, who plays a lot further away from first base than most regular first basemen, but he covers a lot of territory there.
Well, already 25 pitches in the first for Robbie Ray. The 3rd baseman, Giovanni Urshela, who spent all last year with Cleveland's AAA team in Columbus. 274 there with 8 homers. And he's one of Cleveland's option for the 3rd base job. Jose Ramirez, who did a terrific job at 3rd for the Indians late last year, will figure to fill in at 2nd base while Jason Kipnis is injured. Kipnis, the ASU Sun Devil, has a bad shoulder and is likely going to miss the first month of the year. So they're going to move Ramirez apparently to 2nd base, and 3rd base looks like it's a battle between this guy Urshela and Yandy Diaz, who's a young hitter they like a lot. There's a breaking ball from Robbie Ray. He's ahead 1-2. Urshela is from Colombia, and he played for that impressive Colombian team in the World Baseball Classic. Went 2 for 14 there. That back to the mound, and finally Robbie Ray is out of the first, but Cleveland, with the help of 2 home runs, puts up 5. Diamondbacks coming up against Trevor Bauer. Giving the Indians a 5-0 lead, and out there for the Tribe is the right-hander Trevor Bauer. Now 26. He opened last season in Cleveland's bullpen, but still managed to make 28 starts and throw 190 innings. He did improve his command a bit, and although he's a hard thrower, the walks, Gonzo, can still be a problem.
Yeah, they really can. And when he stays away from drones, he's okay. He had that injury last year right at the playoff time, messing around with a drone, and that kind of set back his pitching performance and the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, famously bleeding all over the baseball, had to leave his ALCS start against Toronto almost immediately. After he was playing around with his drone, the propeller suddenly started out of nowhere by mistake and cut his finger open. But he was able to make a couple of World Series starts against the Cubs, lost them both. Chris Owings, the shortstop, bats leadoff today. And there's strike one. Boy, CO has had, Gonzo, a tremendous spring.
Yeah, I really like his approach this year. He's worked really hard and really doesn't know where his position is going to be, whether it's going to be shortstop or utility or playing around. But he's done a fantastic job here to basically almost earn the starting job at shortstop.
Yeah, he's hit .409 in spring training so far with 2 home runs.
You can see one thing with Bauer: when you got a 5-run lead in the first, he's attacking the hitter, especially the leadoff guy.
He's got that still herky-jerky motion. Bunch of short, quick movements. And he gets Owings on a strikeout to open up the bottom of the first. Here's the lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks, brought to you by Amstel X Light.
Well, you just saw there Chris Owings leading off, batting second. David Peralta rounded out by Goldschmidt. Glad to have him back. Yosmani Tomas making his debut here after a short break off with an injury. Descalso, Herman, Negron, Fuentes, followed by the pitcher Robbie Ray.
David Peralta, 239 this spring with a home run. Now, I understand that you and Jacob went to see Team USA, right, in the World Baseball Classic, but you didn't get to see Goldie.
No, and I can speak from experience. There was a lot of Arizona fans there that were pretty upset that Goldie wasn't out there on the field.
It was tough to get out there with Eric Hosmer hitting the ball the way he was, and batting left-handed. Jim Leland went with that option more often than not.
Yeah, I think, and Goldie, to, credit to him, he just went about his business, did his work. You never heard him complain or anything, and it was a great experience for him, for Team USA, to go out there and win it. But I'm sure it's something that he'll never forget.
2-2 on Peralta. Yeah, Goldie played in only 5 World Baseball Classic games, went 1 for 13, so he didn't really get a whole lot of at-bats.
No, and it's tough to get rhythm, too, when you're not playing out there every single day.
Bauer paints the corner on a 2-strike pitch. He struck out Owings and Peralta to open up the ball game.
Here you see that pitch right there, just kind of fades away in the strike zone. Good placement on it, down and away to the left-handed hitter. Second out of the inning.
Paul Goldschmidt now. 297 last year, 24 home runs. He's homered once this spring.
Well, I think as a manager for Torey Lovullo, I mean, it's great to have your players going out there representing their country. But when one of your players is the anchor to the team, you'd much rather see him back in a Diamondbacks uniform hitting third for the Diamondbacks.
No question. But he's got just about a week left to get those at-bats in. D-backs have this game today against Cleveland. Back here tomorrow afternoon against the Angels. Tuesday at Peoria, they'll take on the Mariners, and then games at Chase Field against these Indians on Thursday and Friday before opening day a week from today. Goldie drives this one deep to right field, but Almonte has it at the track, and Bauer stakes that 5-0 lead, works a 1-2-3 first. Brantley and Chris Colabello hit first inning home runs against Robbie Ray. Gonzo, what happened?
Well, you talk about leaving the ball up in the strike zone. There you see both home runs almost in the same spot. You're going to see a breakdown here. There's the first pitch, or the second home run, excuse me. And they were both exactly in the same spot. When you get behind in the count to big league hitters, you leave that ball up, it's going to make you pay for it.
Brantley a 2-run shot. Colabello a 3-run homer. 2 walks in that first inning for Robbie Ray. Both scored, and so he's down 5-0 as Michael Martinez, the shortstop, leads off the second. Francisco Lindor, who was sensational in the World Baseball Classic, not in the starting lineup today for Terry Francona. Carlos Santana getting the day off as well. Martinez drives one deep to center field. Raymond Fuentes at the track just shy of the wall, and he runs it down. Fuentes is a guy who impressed in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, he really did. He had a fantastic baseball classic, played well. You see him out here trying to win an opportunity to stick around here with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he's got a couple of home runs in Cactus League play for the D-backs.
Well, Robbie Ray got away with another one there. That pitch was up in the strike zone.
Austin Jackson walked and scored, came in the Brantley home run to lead off the ball game.
See, now I think Robbie Ray in this, he works so much faster when nobody's on base. I think he needs to try to use that same approach when there's runners on, at least a pace of game that he uses.
Well, Gonzo, let's take a moment here to take a look at your Valley Honda dealers key to the game, and it's Robbie Ray related.
Well, I think the key to the game today is to get Robbie Ray back on track, especially after giving up 5 and shaving the beard today. To see what happens after today. He may end up trying to grow it back here by opening day.
I mean, you wonder. He looked like, you know, a Confederate general, Jeb Stuart or something, with that long beard. But boy, in 5 spring starts, he came into today 3-0 with a 2.70 ERA. So you would think that maybe he'd keep the beard going because it was working, but it must have been just driving him nuts. So the beard is gone. First inning without the beard. He gives up a couple of home runs and 5 runs.
Yeah, players are very superstitious. A pretty good chance he's going to start growing it back. He's going to borrow that one from this fan right here. Need that beard back.
2-2 on Austin Jackson.
Shot right into the D-backs dugout.
Zach Greinke jumping out of the way.
Definitely not a guy you want to see get hit by a foul ball here before the start of the season.
No. Fastball missed. Tried to ring up Jackson, but the count has gone full 3-2. And once again, you find Robbie missing with that fastball. Throwing a lot of pitches, and the count is full. Brantley, who homered his first time up, is on deck. Lays off the breaking ball. 3rd walk of the ball game for Robbie Ray.
I think Robbie's just having trouble today, just finding his release point, trying to get back on track. Seems like his fastballs he's throwing, he's missing with them, and when he gets it across the plate, it's up in the zone. Just can't seem to get that breaking ball going either.
Getting behind in counts. So Brantley now 5 for 13 on the spring. Boy, this guy has been through a lot. Now at the age of 29, just trying to stay healthy. Brantley had surgery on his right shoulder in November of 2015. Opened last season on the disabled list. Came back near the end of April, but quickly that shoulder became inflamed. They had to shut him back down. Went right back on the long-term DL and stayed there all year long. And while he was out, came up with a right biceps problem and had to have bicep surgery last August, so he's just getting back. Didn't play his first Cactus League game this spring until March 20th.
If you know Michael Brantley, you know he's a fighter, man. He's gone through a lot, just like you said. This guy continues to just try to get back in there and try to be a steady guy in the lineup.
Yeah, 3 years ago was an all-star, hit .327, 20 homers, stole 23 bases. It was a big loss for Cleveland. Deep to left center, Fuentes and Tomas. Yasmani's got it. And that's the second out in the second.
Yasmani getting a little action today out there in left field. Nice play on that fly ball to left center.
And we'll keep an eye on Yasmani, see how he's moving around. Hasn't played in a Cactus League game in 3 weeks. He did play yesterday in a minor league game on the backfields. He will lead off the bottom of the second inning. Here's Yan Gomes, the catcher, popped up his first time up. Gomes is another guy that the Indians missed last year. He had to be shut down right after the All-Star break with a separated right shoulder. So he only played in 3 games after the middle of July last year. He's had all kinds of injury problems, knees and shoulders and hand injuries. And he missed most of the postseason run last year, coming off that shoulder injury. Roberto Perez did a great job behind the plate defensively for the Indians once Gomes went down.
He really did. Got some big hits for him too when they needed it.
Yeah, not much of a hitter, but he had a knack for getting the big hit. Gomes gets into one. That's off the base of the wall, and one hops the fence, in fact, out there. So Jackson will have to stop at third. A double for Yan Gomes, his third this spring.
I think for Robbie Ray, this is one of those spring training starts that you just want to get over with and get it out of the way. That ball was down in the strike zone, 94 miles an hour. Professional hitters up there, they're looking for pitches to drive, and he got one there.
Second and third, 2 outs. Abraham Almonte singled and scored a run his first time up. Almonte's now hit safely in 11 straight Cactus League games. And he's hitting almost 400 this spring. No throw from Herman. Almonte does have minor league options left when it comes down to 25-man roster decisions for Terry Francona. But he's a guy that Tito likes a lot. He switch hits. He can play all 3 outfield spots. Francona's a big fan.
Yeah, I think you're starting to find a lot more super utility guys again coming back into this generation of ball players. Guys that can do a little bit of everything, just like you saw last year with bullpen guys. You know, they have their different mix of guys now that can come in and close it out, throwing 95 to 100, but they have a mixture of guys that are situational. Use those closers at any time during the game.
And with the position players, Gonzo, it seems like guys used to sort of fall into those roles, veterans who couldn't start every day, but it kind of worked out. Now it seems like teams are developing younger guys to be those types of super utility players.
Yeah, they're bringing those guys back, and what's important about them is they'll get their at-bats because they're giving a breather to those starters every day out there on the field, whether it's one day at first, another day at shortstop. They're those guys that bring 3 or 4 gloves to the ballpark, and they're able to use them.
Called strike 3. Robbie Ray gets a big strikeout and strands 2. Diamondbacks trail the Indians 5-0. Along the way, D-backs trail the Indians 5-0. And we're joined by Diamondback third baseman Jake Lamb from the D-backs dugout. Jake, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Can't complain.
You are doing great. It's been a great spring for you. What's been working so well?
You know, just having quality at bats. Timing feels really good right now. Just having the same approach game to game. So that's what I've been feeling like.
What is that approach for you exactly?
You know, my strength is to the left center gap. So I'm looking to drive something to left center and then just react to everything else as far as off speed and yeah, I mean just sticking with that approach. Even after the bad at bats, just sticking with that mentality, and that's why I've had some success this spring.
Well, Yasmani Tomas 0 for 17 to start off the spring, and back from that oblique injury for the first time in 3 weeks. Good to have him back. His first Cactus League game, Gonzo, since March the 6th.
Yeah, it's good to have him back. Jake, quick question for you here. I know in spring training, a lot of players have a certain number of at-bats that they think they're ready to go. I know you've been having a fantastic spring. Are you ready now, or do you feel like you need some more at-bats to get going?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time that I've, in previous springs have been playing every day, or at least getting a bat every day, competing for a job. And so this is the first time where I've, kind of had a game to play and then off day, game, off day. But yeah, I've been ready for about a week now, I would say. I don't know how many at-bats I have, but you know how it is. Just once that timing feels right, you're ready to go.
Does Robbie Ray's lack of a beard mean that Archie has to shave now? You'll know this better than anybody. You're his roommate.
I don't know. Archie's loving the beard right now. So
it's luscious, as he said. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's the only guy with a good one. So I'm not sure. He's probably going to keep it. Gives him some edge.
Jake, now that you seem to be the everyday guy there at third base, is there anything particular that you still feel like you need to work on?
Yeah. I mean, every aspect of the game, really. You're always working to get better, and that's why I love this group of guys. It starts with the Goldies and Pollock, but they're always working, whether it's base running, defense, at the plate. You're always trying to get better in all aspects of the game. So yeah, I'm constantly working on stuff.
Was it tough, Jake, to sit periodically last year against left-handers and go through everything you did there? And that I imagine you're looking forward to not doing that this year.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. If you have success or don't, it's as simple as it sounds. Just seeing the ball coming out from a different angle. You get so used to seeing the right-handers. You see in batting practice, it's usually always a right-hander, and there's just more right-handers in the league. And so it's nice to get that angle as far as the lefty pitcher. And especially the starts against the lefties, because the harder guys are obviously out of the pen. They're paid money to get us out as far as left-handed hitters. So just getting that angle, and that really helps for maybe not in the beginning of the season, but later in the season too.
Yeah, it's funny because your numbers against left-hand starting pitchers last year are actually pretty good.
Yeah, and that's something I sat down with Mags, and we talked about it. And I don't ever look at my numbers during the season. But yeah, we sat down and he was kind of saying that same thing. Your numbers against lefty starters are pretty good. A decent average. Hitting for power. But then my lefty reliever numbers were terrible. And so that's one thing that I've been working on, trying to get as many looks in spring as possible off the lefty relievers. Just trying to simplify and really not try to do too much, because when those guys come in, they're trying to get me out, but there's also usually guys in scoring position, so I really don't need to do a whole lot of damage. A base hit gets a guy in usually, so just kind of having a better approach against those late inning guys.
Well, Daniel Descalso continues his torrid spring with an RBI double as Tomas scores all the way from first, and the D-backs are on the board as we speak with Jake Lamb.
Hey, Jake, you're relatively young in your career now. What's it like being a young player and now going through a different manager? I mean, you fall in love with your first manager. Usually you'll remember that guy, and now you're getting all these changes now. And with a managerial general manager, you feel like you have to prove yourself again, or what's the relationship with you and Torey Lovello now?
It's awesome. I mean, he came up to me, first time I met him, And we weren't even talking baseball. We were just we were actually talking Pac-12 football because my Huskies.
Well, that didn't work out too well for you, though.
That wasn't a long conversation.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was better than his Bruins, but no, I mean, he's so approachable and he communicates really well. And you know, like you said, in my young career, that's what I love when you know, the manager's a really good communicator. And he brought me in his office, you know, first couple days of spring, and kind of just gave me the layout of what my spring's going to be like, what he sees for me individually as far as the season. And you know, that's all I ask for. It's just, hey, whether it's good or bad news, you know, just tell me up front. You know, I can take it.
Yeah, his reputation, Jay, coming in was something of a relationship builder, and the more you hang around Torrey, you really see why he has that reputation, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, had a conversation today. We were just down the line throwing, and just approaches every guy, you know, talking, whether it's baseball or nothing to do with baseball. And he's awesome, and I can see why, you know, the Red Sox and every organization he's been with, you know, guys love him. So it's been great so far, and looking forward to the season starting.
What'd you do this winter? Anything good?
I would say the highlight was probably my older brother getting married. I was the best man, and I don't think I've ever been more nervous than giving the speech in front of everybody.
I was going to say, how was the best man toast? How'd that go?
It went good. I mean, like I said, I had it on my phone. I had a little speech written up, but I was shaking so bad I couldn't even read it.
Probably more nervous for that than your first at bat in the major leagues,
I swear,
right?
people didn't believe me, but you know, it's. Well, I was saying, you know, baseball is a game of failure. You can go 3 for 10, and you know how they say you can make the Hall of Fame, but in best man speeches, it's not a game of failure. You got to be perfect, especially for your brother. So
yeah, you only get one at bat in those situations, at least hopefully.
And I'm trying to hit a homer, so
I'm sure it was awesome. Jake, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jake.
Right, thanks, guys.
Jake Lamb from the D-backs dugout. Christopher Negron, the second baseman today. So Yasmani Tomas, Gonzo, of all the things you'd like to see Yasmani Tomas do in his first at bat in 3 weeks, I would say taking a walk and having a long extended at bat probably at the top of the list.
Yeah, it is. He got to see some pitches. He's always known to be an aggressive hitter every time he goes to the plate. His percentages of hitting the first or second pitch are always very high. And then now, go figure, you want to see him swing the bat since he's come back from an injury and he takes a walk.
Check swing roller to first. Colabello is there. They get the force on Negron as Descalso moves into third. Yeah, Tomas, the leadoff walk, scores on the Descalso double. And now he's at third with 2 down. The batter will be Raymond Fuentes, the center fielder.
You know, getting back to Jake Lamb, one of the important things that I think he said is, you know, with Torrey, he goes around the team, individual guys, and I think that's something that these guys, being fairly young players, I mean, they're in their primes now. They're 25, 26 years old, but a lot of these guys haven't been up there, and I think when you don't talk to a lot of these players, they feel alienated a little. So now I think the rapport that he has with some of these players, now they understand their role, they understand where they're going to be used, how they're going to be playing, and that goes a long way when you have good communication with your manager and the players.
And I imagine with a group of young players like we have here, it just helps everybody relax a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's no mystery. I've always said, if you got a consistent lineup, guys aren't looking over their shoulder.
You're a big fan of that, I know.
And when you walk into the locker room, you don't even look at the board because you know where you're hitting, you know where you're playing. And I think Torrey's going to be a good leader out there for these guys.
Well, that was certainly the reputation he's built throughout a long career in the minors as a manager and then several seasons as the bench coach with John Farrell in Boston.
Well, and the tough thing for Torrey, you're coming in here now to a new team. These guys have all been together. They're young players. You have to win their trust. And I think he's done that in the short time here in spring training of getting all these guys to get on the same page, and hopefully that carries over into the season. And when you got a manager that you love, you're going to give that little max effort, that extra effort to go out there and win for him.
And it's funny when you talk to Torrey, it's like he doesn't have a care in the world. He's not nervous. He's not uptight. He's not stressed. He's essentially a rookie big league skipper, except for the time he filled in for John Farrell a couple of years ago while John was ill. But boy, he's just got this sort of calm aura about him. There's a very relaxed vibe that's easy to buy into.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to play with Torrey a long time ago in college in the Alaska League, and he's always seemed to be that guy that he's going to be a leader or a manager somewhere. That's why he's getting this opportunity here, and it's a fantastic opportunity. He's got some great players here. He's been surrounded with some great coaches, a good front office now, and guys that he's familiar with, so he doesn't have to feel like he's fighting against guys upstairs. He knows everybody, that's come with him from Boston. So that's a comfortable feeling to know that you got guys that'll have your back.
And it's a real group think here with Mike Hazen and Emil Sade. Jared Porter is here. You've got Torey Lovello. These guys all come really from the same tree that trickles down from, Theo Epstein and a bunch of other guys, and they all sort of are in the same mindset. They're all together on all these decisions.
And when the team wins, they're happy. When the team loses, they feel the defeat just as much as the players do, and that's what you want. You want the organization to go out there and want to be winners every single day, and that's something that we're trying to get back here, and these guys are doing a fantastic job so far this spring.
Raymond Fuentes, who was 9 for 13 with a couple of home runs this spring, works the 2-out walk, second walk in the inning issued by Trevor Bauer, and that'll bring up the pitcher Robbie Ray with 2 outs. And as we saw last year, Robbie, when he has to be, can be a hitter. Just under 190 last season with a home run. He's got Descalso at third and Fuentes at first.
Well, Robbie will run into one every now and then and put one in the gap. See if we can do one right here, get some runs back.
Two walks and a double in the inning have put the Diamondbacks on the board. Still only one hit. That was Descalso's RBI double. Following the walk to Tomas. Tomas scored all the way from first.
Robbie looked like he was trying to get 3 runs back right there on that one swing.
When you think about what happened to Zach Greinke last year, where he injured the oblique on a swing like that and was out 6 weeks, I always cringe a little bit when you see the pitcher take those big cuts like that. Just, don't pull anything. Here's Zach. He took a hack like that the middle of last year when he was really rolling and had to sit down for 6 weeks. Fuentes takes off, and that one's fouled back to the screen. Fuentes is an interesting guy. He's a guy to keep an eye on because Gregor Blanco's a little banged up right now. He's got some pain in his right side. He's played a lot this spring. Fuentes has been gone for really the last 3 weeks because of the WBC, but he's a guy that might factor in at some point this year.
Oh, and I know a lot of the coaches didn't get a lot of good looks at him being here, but I know they know he can play the game because they saw him play in the WBC and face some pretty good pitching.
Fuentes, another left-hand bat brought over by the new front office in the offseason. He was released by the Royals last September, spent most of last season at AAA Omaha. Fuentes off for second again, and Robbie Ray strikes out. 4 strikeouts for Trevor Bauer, but the Diamondbacks get on the board. They trail it 5-1. A talking stick. They trail the Indians 5-1 as Robbie Ray is out there to start the third inning. Boy, Gonzo, we had more than 14,000 in here Thursday against the Cubs. We may have close to that again today.
Yeah, beautiful day for baseball. Great crowd out here. It's exciting to come out in spring training and see crowds like this.
Well, that grass berm is packed. The grass, we were talking to Dave Dunn before the ball game. Marshall Jennings and his crew have done a phenomenal job on this facility. That grass out there, usually this time of year, it's kind of torn up. It's gorgeous right now.
Yeah, it is. They've done a fantastic job. That's why this facility continues to be the #1 place throughout spring training.
Talk to any player, coach, manager, any baseball guy, they will tell you to a man that this place is the Taj Mahal of spring training facilities. Brandon Guyer will lead off the third against Robbie Ray. Guyer walked and scored his first time up. Indians lead at 5-1. They got 5 in the first on 2 home runs, a 2-run shot by Michael Brantley, his first of the spring, then a 3-run homer by Chris Colabello, his third. Diamondbacks just got 1 back on a Descalso RBI double. There's the strike at 0-1.
What are you looking forward to this year for the start of the season?
You know, I'm looking forward to watching this rotation because I think, Gonzo, that with the 5 guys they have in there, and they've got other guys as well, there's plenty of depth. Archie Bradley to start the year in the bullpen, and you've got some other guys like Anthony Bonded and Braden Shipley who will start the year with AAA Reno. Matt Cook is another guy, but let's just take the first 5. I think with this group, there's a really, really high ceiling here. Now, they may not reach it, you don't know, but the potential is certainly there. And it'd be nice to see this group really put something together and get on a roll because they're capable of doing that.
Yeah, I think with these guys, with Greinke leading the way here, if they can start a couple guys get on some winning streaks and that starts producing, pushing each other. I think once they, you know, the #2 guy will push the 1 guy, and then the 3 and the 4 guy, you know, they start pushing each other, and then it's almost like a inner competition that they have within each other.
That really does seem to happen in the big leagues with starting pitchers, more so than any other spot, it seems. There's sort of a passing of the baton and nobody wants to drop it. Fuentes in center has it for the first out.
Yeah, and I think when your team's playing well, you don't want to be the weak link in the chain. So you tend to focus a little bit more, concentrate, and then you watch the guy who's pitching the day before you, and if he has a great outing, you want to follow that up, especially when you're playing in short series. You want to be that guy to help your team either close the series out or be the guy to get us the first win in the series. It's very important, especially with the type of pitchers that we have here with not a long career with records of wins and losses.
Colabello a 3-run homer in his first at bat. His 3rd home run this spring. I think the same can be said for the fact that kind of works in reverse as well. We saw that, Gonzo, last year. So often guys would come out, fall behind in counts, have 25 or 30 pitch innings, and that seemed to become a bit of an epidemic as well. This is well hit to right center field, and it's off the base of the wall. Colabello will add a double to his home run. He's in at second with 1 out.
I'll tell you, he's swung the bat good here his first 2 at-bats. He's using the whole ballpark, and he's using the wall out there.
Yeah, he's hitting over 350 this spring now. Chris Colabello.
He's got a pitch out. Anytime you can give those big guys a chance to extend their arms, that's where they get that power.
Colabello played in only 10 games with the Blue Jays last year, mostly because he failed a drug test and was suspended 80 games. And he insisted at the time he had no idea what triggered a positive test for an anabolic steroid. Daniel Robertson, the second baseman now. Indians had a similar situation last year with Abraham Almonte, who was suspended 80 games. Robertson grounded out his first time up.
Well, I know you talked about our pitching staff. I think too what Hazen and his group is trying to do is to establish some depth down in AAA too, just to have those extra guys.
And I think it's there too, because you're going to have Braden Shipley down there and Matt Cook down there and Anthony Bonda and Zach Godley now as well. Zach was assigned to AAA Reno, so they'll keep a lot of those guys stretched out. And you always need more than 5. That's the one thing you can absolutely count on. Bond is a guy that I think will be here this year at some point.
I agree with you.
I thought he impressed this spring. He's got a bright future. And I'm a big Matt Cook fan.
And I think the thing that's important now is these guys know that there's depth in the minor leagues, especially the pitchers. In the past couple of years, these guys were so young, they were allowed to fail a little bit and not worry so much about, oh, I'm going to lose my job up here.
Right.
Now they know that if they're not pitching well, there's going to be guys that are come up and fill in if they don't get the job done.
Called strike 3. Robbie Ray rings up Robertson, his second strikeout.
Nice pitch here on the outer half, fastball down away.
Well, there's all kinds of storylines to follow during spring training as we're just about ready to wind down here. This is our final TV game from Salt River Field this spring. Giovanni Urshela, the third baseman, steps in. Gonzo, I have, after several weeks of intensive journalistic investigation, I've come up with a big story, frankly, this spring that we're going to break in the next half inning.
There you go.
I think you know a little bit about it. It's a major story regarding some of the food, or more accurately, desserts that have been floating around here. And I was not aware of this, but we have, kind of lurking in the background, have had the world's greatest pecan pie chef right here the whole time.
Yeah.
And we didn't know, but stories, rumors started circulating, and that chef will join us in the next half inning, we think, and you'll be stunned to find out who it is.
I'm looking forward to it.
But this guy apparently cooks the world's greatest pecan pie, and it has become an absolute staple in the clubhouse. The players are eating these things like there's no tomorrow. Check swing foul. So we'll have that for you coming up. Just a little, if you will, slice of what happens. See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw that.
Here,
I like that.
Here in Scottsdale. 1-2 on Giovanni Urshela. Colabello, the runner, at second, and 2 outs. Indians have out hit the D-backs 5-1. They lead it 5-1. Broken bat just over the head of Chris Owings. Colabello being waved home, and it's 6-1 Cleveland. RBI single for Giovanni Urshela.
I think Robbie got that pitch right where he wanted it. Broken bat. Got just enough of it just to get it out of the reach of Owings, driving the run.
The shortstop today is Michael Martinez. He flying out to center in his first at bat. Now 6-1 Cleveland. Robbie Ray in his last start Tuesday against the Royals threw 78 pitches, went 5 innings. And he's at 65 right now through 2 2/3.
This has been something that's hindered him throughout his career.
TMP, as BB likes to say, too many pitches. Trying to get more efficient, but for Robbie, it all starts with that terrific fastball, and he's just not been able to throw it for strikes consistently today. And once that goes, then everything else sort of falls out of place. It's Martinez to chase a 2-0 fastball that time. Out of play, and it's 2-2. It's good to have you here today. I know BB's busy with some extended grandpa time this week.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Good to be doing a TV game with you, and Right here at the tail end of spring training. It's always exciting for these guys getting ready to tee it up to start the season.
Robbie Ray gets the strikeout, his third of the ball game, but the Indians add one more. They lead it 6-1. Talking stick, the Diamondbacks trail the Indians 6-1. And as promised, our mystery chef has arrived, although he didn't bring a pie. The great Joe Carter is here. Good to see you.
Thank you. I would have bought one, but Gonzo ate them all up.
Did you?
I did not.
I've been waiting for this all week.
I know.
I booked this gig last week.
You know, I made 8 of them on Thursday, and they're already gone.
You know, I saw on the Twitter that you had tweeted out a picture of all the pies you were making. Here's the great Joe Carter, former World Series hero with the Blue Jays, and of course, longtime Cleveland Indian. I saw you walking around the other day, and you started telling me about this pecan pie thing. This has really become a big deal here in spring training. How did this all start?
Well, my first year here, we were in the clubhouse talking, and I can't remember. I was talking to Mike Fetters, and we were talking about cooking and making pies and everything. I said, you know, I make a mean pecan pie. He goes, well, I don't see none. And
neither do I, but that's another.
Hey, I've got to make some more tomorrow. But and so what I did, I said, okay, I went out and got all the ingredients, and I came back the next day. And I made like 8 pecan pies and put them out there the next day.
They were gone.
Yeah. The guys are like, oh, okay. So now when I make them, they go very quick right now. So that's how it all started.
But now it's become a thing where you've got to do this a couple of times a week, right, to keep all these guys happy?
You know, I got here on the 16th of February, and I made 10 the second day I was in town. And then a week later, I made 10 more. So these guys, they go through them like fireworks. And I think Corbin, he's been trying to get me on the side and saying, like, you know, he wants to get a couple of them so he can take them home.
Yeah.
And things like that. But we haven't got that far yet. But, yeah, it's a big thing right now.
How do you make 10 pies at once? Are you got an industrial kitchen at home? I mean, how do you make all these things?
No, right here.
You make them here?
I make them right here in the kitchen.
On site, okay.
I will, you know, after the game, I'll go in there and I'll probably watch like I watched the basketball game Thursday night, NCAA March Madness, and I'm sitting there watching both games and cooking the pies.
Ground ball to second base. Robertson is there, and that's the first out they retire Chris Owings. Now, you told me this is a closely guarded Carter family secret recipe, right?
Yes, my Aunt Betty gave it to me a long time ago, and I grew up with 11 kids in my family, and so we had to learn to cook if we wanted to eat because Mom and Dad was always working. So we learned to cook, and I worked in the kitchen, you know, growing up. And so she gave me a recipe. I tweaked it a little bit because I love to bake. And now I've got it down to perfection. And wherever I go, or if the Carters are ever invited to a potluck dinner,
you're bringing pie.
Well, you know what? They do. They'll say, okay, you guys bring this, and they say, Joe, you know what to bring. So it's always the pecan pie.
David Peralta gives one a ride. This ball's hit deep to center field, and that ball is gone. Over the batter's eye in center, David Peralta, his second this spring, and it's 6-2. You're good luck. Well,
you know, David, he talked to me this morning. He says, Joe, I didn't get any pie. He said, I said, okay, I'll make you one tomorrow. So I got to get one to him because he said his wife is pregnant and she would like a piece. So I'm like, okay, I got to do it. So now I'm up here talking pie. He goes deep. Jake Lamb, Jake Lamb, the first time he had something this year, the first game he played, he went deep.
So we're on to something here. This is going to be, it's already become a thing.
It's a Joe Carter home run pie.
Yes.
It is. That's what we got going.
Well, it'll beat, the silly celebrations with the bubble gum and the water and the Gatorade and the whole thing. We can have a pecan pie celebration.
Hey,
you're going to have to make a lot of pies.
It's funny because as soon as I go away and I come back, the guys don't even say hello anymore.
Where's my pie?
Yeah, they want to know, did you bring any pies? When I saw them on the road last year, the first thing they asked, did I bring any pies? And so everywhere I go now, I have to bring pies. And true story, I'm in Augusta. I used to go to the Masters like 10 years in a row, and we got great parking spots right across from the front gate.
Pay the guys off with pies, didn't you?
The policemen. We get pecan pies. I'm serious.
I believe you.
We get police escorts to the airport and back, everything in Augusta.
Who knew you could get all this with pecan pie? Now, have you ever thought about seriously going into business? Doing something with this?
My sister, Charlotte, she rides professionally in the rodeo, and she started a bakery back home in Oklahoma City, so she loves to bake. Cakes is her specialty. And so I said if I do something, I'm going to do it with her. Yeah. But I like doing it because I get a kick out of people who really don't like pecan pie, and they taste it, and they go, oh, man, this is good. They say, I don't even like pecan pie, so it gives me a lot of thrill just to make them for the guys and see them look and say, you made this? Yeah, this is pretty good.
Well, I mean, of all the guys who are great pecan pie chefs, Joe Carter, one of the great baseball players of his era, World Series hero, he's back there making pies. Who knew?
He's a regular guy.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, yeah, who knew? Like I say, watching the game, back in the kitchen, everybody's gone home. I'm still here working. I'm getting a little overtime.
Well, it's always one reason. The pies aside, we like spring training as we get to visit with you when you're here. Now, what do you think of your former team here? One game away from a World Series championship last year.
You know what was funny last year, Steve? 5 of the 6 teams that were playing in the end, I played for 5 of them.
That's true.
So Toronto, Cleveland, Baltimore, San Francisco, and can't think of who was the other one. The Cubs. So for me to sit there, I knew that one of my former teams, going to win the World Series. I did know that, but what Terry Francona has done over there in Cleveland has been just short of magnificent. I mean, he's done a great job.
I've talked to you about this before, growing up in Boston like I did. Nobody killed the Red Sox worse than Joe Carter. He used to go into Fenway Park and destroy that place.
Yeah, I loved it. Well, you know why? Because I coined the phrase. They said, why do you like playing here in Fenway Park? I said, see that sign out there in left field? They go, the sit go sign? Yeah. I said, no, see it go. I like to see it go. And true story.
The trademark Citgo sign in Kenmore Square. You can see that's just over the green monster.
Well, anytime you have a big green wall that's 3-0-10 from home plate.
You get a big right-hand hitter in there.
Yeah, and the way that I hook it, I think I'm still the only guy that hit 3 home runs there twice in a game, including the home team. So, Boston Fenway Park was my favorite park to hit in.
Now, what's your role, Joe, with the Diamondbacks once spring training ends?
I got to go home and make more pies.
Yeah, well, that's number one.
So that's number one. Number two, I'll sit down with the new general manager, Mike Hazen, and we'll talk about it and see what he wants me to do. But, when I was here formerly with Dave Stewart, I was out, scouting the big league club. Every now and then they come to Kansas City. I'd see some of the guys there, and then go around and check out our A-ball, AA, and AAA teams.
So we keep you busy.
Yeah, you do keep me busy, which is good. I don't mind being busy. I'm an empty nester. And so my wife is always glad to get me out of the house every now and then.
I did not realize you came from such a rodeo family.
Yes, I've got 3 sisters and 3 nieces that ride professionally in the rodeo.
Yasmani Tomas a walk. Now he shoots one down the right field line. And Yasmani gets extra bases. His first game in 3 weeks. So far, so good.
I think that's his first hit of the spring, too, isn't it?
Yeah, he's now 1 for 18.
That's his first. Well, you know, he did motor on that double down the left field line. He scored all the way from first base. So yeah, Dave McKay has got these guys running the bases very well. But yeah, my family's very athletic, and my sister Charlotte, she's 65 years old. And she still rides professionally. She does.
Get out of here.
Oh, no.
Wow.
In other words, she's the real athlete in the family.
Yes. She's riding horses. He's making pies.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, what's wrong with that picture, huh? That way I'll never starve to death, put it like that.
This was all, having you here was just my way of getting a pie. This is all a big scam.
Well,
you realize.
yeah, I know that.
And he built it up, too.
I did.
We were waiting for
I sold it.
Well, I tell you what, I got to go in tomorrow night after the game. I got to go make some more. So I'll save you some this time.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
I thought it may be some left by today, but
no chance.
Going to the kitchen and talking with Ryan, he goes, "Man, those pies were gone yesterday." I'm like, "What?" You know, now they used to last 3 days, 3 or 4 days. Now 2 days and they're gone.
Are you buying all the ingredients yourself?
Yeah.
So this is all coming out of your pocket?
It's all coming out of my pocket, yeah. I tried to put it on Gonzo expense report.
No chance.
That's full. Believe me, that's all full. That's overflowing, in fact. That's why it doesn't go on the road anymore.
Yeah, I don't go on the road because if it rains, they make me pay for dinner because they say it's on the bad luck charm that came in and it rained out a game.
Yeah, that's actually happened a few times.
Yeah.
That happened, but yeah, it's like I say, it's something I'd love to do. I've done it for a long time now, and now everywhere I go, I got to make pecan pies. I've even sent a pecan pie as a wedding present.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, Alfonso Ribeiro and his wife Angie.
It's homemade.
Yeah, I overnighted them on FedEx. The next day, she said it was the best wedding present she's ever gotten.
I'm dying to find out what the secret ingredient is.
Well,
is there a trick that, folks at home, if they're bakers, is there something you can give them some tips?
Well, speaking of dying, if I do tell you the tips, then I have to kill you.
I get it.
Yeah, those are the words from my mom and my Aunt Betty.
What are you putting in these things?
Love, a lot of love.
That's always the best ingredient, baby. 2-2 on Daniel Descalso, trying to get Tomas home from second with 2 outs.
Now, wait a minute. You're still in Uni. Were you in the backfields or were you in the dugout?
No, I was in the dugout.
So you came up?
I came up to the stands, yeah. They didn't know who I was.
So people are going, there's a guy dressed like a Major League ball player that looks like Joe Carter coming up the stand.
And who knew that he was the world's greatest pecan pie chef?
That you didn't get a piece.
They thought I was Ronnie Woo Woo from the Cubs in uniform.
Thanks very much.
All right,
Thanks,
Steve,
Joe.
Gonzo.
Now lead the Diamondbacks 6-2, and fans, for the first time ever, D-backs opening day will be held on a Sunday afternoon, 1 week from today. So make sure you secure your tickets now for the D-backs and the Giants, the opener at Chase Field April 2nd. Get the best seats for opening day at the lowest price with a mini plan purchase. And to get that, visit dbacks.com. Our thanks to the great Joe Carter for joining us here.
You were a little disappointed you didn't get any pie.
I will admit that I'm a little bummed out. Yeah, I thought that would be a great way to get a pie, but
I'm sure you'll have one by the end of spring. Joe will take care of you.
It's funny because you're just hanging around the clubhouse over the course of the week. You find out that this is, like we said, a really big deal with the players, and they're grabbing these things as quick as he can make them. Goldie has left the ball game. He's had 2 at-bats, and Jake Gobert has taken over at first base. Austin Jackson leading off the 4th against Robbie Ray. Cleveland got 5 in the first on 2 home runs, a 2-run homer by Michael Brantley, a 3-run shot by Chris Colabello. Diamondbacks have their 2 runs and a Descalso RBI double and a Peralta solo homer. Fuentes has that in center for the first out in the 4th. Joe Carter, one of the all-time good guys.
Oh, he is.
He's great to talk to. Talk about all his the World Series runs and the big home run, of course. With the Blue Jays, he was a great player in Cleveland for a long time. Very good golfer. A bunch of rodeo stars in the family. Here's Michael Brantley.
Oh, he does it all, right? Wins World Series and makes pies.
Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. A walk-off homer to win a World Series. Now he's here in Salt River baking pies. If you're on the Twitter, you can actually search Joe Carter's Twitter account, and there's pictures of him baking all these pies. I mean, he makes like 8 or 10 of them at a time.
Yeah, and like he said earlier, they go in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, even Zach Greinke was talking up these pies the other day. Yes, he went. Robbie Ray strikes out Brantley. 4th strikeout for Robbie. 2 outs.
You see Brantley here trying to hold up his swing. He's a hitter, you know when you go. He was trying to play it off a little bit and readjust his batting glove, not looking at the 3rd base umpire, hoping that he'd give him the benefit of the doubt, but he went.
Yan Gomes has popped out and doubled. He's 1 for 2. As we mentioned, Goldie looks just fine sitting in the Diamondback dugout. A relatively short day for him. 2 at bats. Jake Gobert has taken over at first, but Goldie certainly looks to be okay. Mentioned Robbie Ray in his previous start last Tuesday here against the Royals through 78 pitches, went 5 innings. He's now at 79 through 3 2/3. No one throwing the Diamondback bullpen.
I think the thing for him here is just to try to finish on a positive note for his afternoon, get a couple more innings in.
Well, nice to get a quick 1, 2, 3 if he can in the 4th. 2-2 now on Yan Gomes, the Indians catcher. Robbie so far has walked 3, struck out 4, given up 6 runs on 6 hits, including 2 homers. Jam shot pop-up. Christopher Negron drifts out to short right field, and he's got it. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4th for Robbie Ray. Diamondbacks trail the Indians 6-2. Little audio issue quickly corrected by Dennis Lamb, star of the Dennis Lamb Show.
Good job, Dennis. Dennis was trying to get the recipe from Joe Carter.
He was. A reminder, tomorrow the Diamondbacks take on the Angels here from Salt River Fields. We'll have that Angels broadcast for you on Fox Sports Arizona. And streaming live on Fox Sports Go. That's a 1 o'clock start, brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers. Chris Herman smashes one by a diving Colabello. A leadoff single for Herman. That's the 4th hit for the D-backs against Trevor Bauer.
And Herman not wasting any time getting that first pitch. Something he likes to take a pass at, and he stroked it out into right field.
Brings up Christopher Negron, the second baseman today.
Negron's another guy who's got a lot of at-bats this spring training. 46 coming into today's game.
Yeah, they've had a good long look at Christopher Negron, who came into the ball game today hitting .239 this spring and has played just about every position on the field.
Talked about the valuable piece of getting guys like Negron into the organization, moving them up the ladder and seeing what they can do, whether here in the big leagues, AAA. He'll be another valuable piece to have around.
And Negron is a veteran. He's 31. Spent last year playing for the Cubs AAA team in Iowa. Played parts of 2014 and 2015 in the big leagues with the Cincinnati Reds.
You know, and the good thing sometimes when you bring a new front office in from different organizations, they get different looks at some players, and they know kind of the ins and outs of different organizations.
And you know, the new group, Gonzo, has done a really good job of building some depth on really very short notice, because the minor league system was a little depleted in recent years. But Negron and the guy who's on deck, Raymond Fuentes, are good examples. These are grown-up major league players with big league experience, and they're standing by in reserve. They can be stashed at AAA Reno, and in case of emergency break glass kind of a thing.
Yeah, and it gives you the a positive sign to know that if somebody goes down, God forbid that happens with a major player on the team, but you have these guys that are able to do an adequate job when they come up in the big leagues, and they're able to fulfill maybe not putting up the same numbers as those big time guys do, but you're not missing a lot from these everyday players.
Two and two on Christopher Negron. He slaps it to second. Robertson's there. They get one with Martinez, and that's it. The force on Herman. And Raymond Fuentes is that exact same kind of guy. A left-hand hitter who can play center field. Played for Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic. Last year was with the Royals AAA team in Omaha. Hit .254 there and stole 17 bases. He's got good speed, covers a lot of ground in the outfield. And Fuentes is a guy who has played basically 8 years in the minor leagues and has collected more than 230 stolen bases, so he can really run. With this in the air to center for Austin Jackson. Two outs now, and the pitcher Robbie Ray will take the at-bat.
Robbie Ray, a strikeout victim in the second inning, taking some overly aggressive hacks up there at the plate.
Still no one throwing in the Diamondback bullpen, although left-hander TJ McFarland has started to stretch down there with Mike Fetters. And now TJ will start to throw. Well, it's not TJ McFarland. Hold on. You got 2 77s down there.
I think that's
Caleb Fleck, yeah. Fleck and McFarland both wearing 77.
It's a problem that you run into a lot here in spring training.
Oh yeah, it's great. Or there was the game against Team Mexico where none of the players had numbers.
Yeah.
That was fun too. But Fleck is the right-handed 77 and McFarland is the lefty 77. 1-1 on Robbie Ray. Here's Herman. After a leadoff single erased at second, Negron the runner at first. The throw down there and they got him picked off. Oh, he's back in time. Wow, the throw beat him by a mile. But Negron is back safely.
I'll tell you, Herman was way out there, and then he realized I better get back.
Well, that's Negron. Just did sneak the hand in there.
Yep.
Under the glove of Colabello at first. Yan Gomes got a big arm behind the plate.
Be a tough out to have there with the pitcher standing at home plate instead of trying to get him out of the way to roll that lineup over.
Yeah.
So you don't even go by the coaches. You run to the other end of the dugout and come back in.
And there's strike 3. 7 strikeouts for Trevor Bauer. We are through 4 in Scottsdale. D-backs trail the Indians 6-2. Called strike 3 by Bill Miller, the plate umpire, to end the 4th, and Robbie has been ejected from the ball game. Torey Lovullo is still out there getting his 2 cents in with Bill Miller, so Robbie Ray will exit here. He's been ejected from the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that was just a little bit of frustration here because that pitch was on the inner half of the plate. Just didn't like it.
And clearly said something that Bill Miller didn't like as he walked away, and before he could get back to the dugout, Miller threw Ray out of the ball game. And Torey Lovullo has spent the entire break here between innings standing at home plate in a somewhat heated discussion with Bill Miller about that. It's not often you see players get ejected from a spring game, and now Robbie will have to finish up his workload in the bullpen as Caleb Fleck has come on, and he'll take over on the mound to start the 5th inning.
Well, how many times have you ever seen that? Guy get thrown out of a game and then finish his routine in the bullpen.
I mean, they want him to throw a certain number of pitches today. Ideally, it would be in the actual ball game, but he's going to have to finish up in the bullpen because he's been tossed.
And usually when you get thrown out, you got to leave the complex here or the actual stadium, but
yeah,
he's actually going to finish out in the bullpen.
It's funny, yesterday in the Diamondback game at Tempe Diablo, Mike Scioscia had been barking at the home plate umpire. Scioscia got ejected from the game yesterday. And today it's Robbie Ray. You don't see that a lot in the spring.
I think that's just a little frustration that he had from his outing today, and showed his disgust there at that last pitch.
So we get a look at the right-hander Caleb Fleck. 29 games last year for AAA Reno. That's where he spent most of the time. 32 appearances overall. 0-3 in an ERA, just under 5.25. So he's pressed into something of emergency duty. Fortunately, he had been warming up before that half inning ended, so it doesn't take too long for Caleb to get ready. And Abraham Almonte will lead off the Cleveland fifth.
I'm sure Fleck was thinking he was going to come into this game in the 6th inning, kind of pacing himself a little bit, and then he found himself right in the middle of the fire here.
Sure does. Caleb now 28 years old, and he's had to overcome a lot of injuries in his career. Almonte has singled, struck out, scored a run. Caleb's always been a guy with big-time velocity, a mid to high 90s fastball. But he's had trouble staying healthy and trouble putting everything together. And last year, because of injuries, as we saw a moment ago, barely able to throw 30 innings pitching at AAA Reno. 2 seasons ago for the Aces, he put up some very encouraging numbers and seemed to be on the verge of finally breaking through to the big leagues. 2015, Caleb Fleck had 66 strikeouts in 52 innings, 7 saves. Saved 17 games for Robbie Hammock at AA Mobile 3 years ago, but last year he was hurt again. 2-2 on Abraham Almonte. Caleb had Tommy John surgery in college. Missed a full year. Pitched at the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown in Johnstown, PA. Full count to Almonte, 3-2.
I'll tell you, when Robbie Ray got ejected, Torey Lovello, it looked like he was getting ready to get tossed too.
Yeah, he looked like he was coming pretty close. Robbie has finished throwing in the bullpen, so he's got all his pitches in apparently. Bill Miller behind the plate.
Well, you know, they tell you in baseball you're going to see a lot of firsts. It doesn't matter how many years. That was a first for me.
Really? Line to right, Peralta's there. All right.
See someone get thrown out of a game and then finish throwing out in the bullpen.
Well, it was not a great day for Robbie, certainly, and it didn't end well. He worked 4 innings, gave up 6 runs on 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 4, and gave up 2 home runs.
I think if you want to give up a bad outing, this is where you want to do it, right here before the start of the season. Get that bad one out of the way.
And how much of that, Gonzo, is the fact that this has been a long spring, even longer with the World Baseball Classic?
The extra week. Well, I mean, it just goes to show you talked about yesterday, Socha got thrown out of a game. These guys are starting to get a little bit on edge. They're ready for the season to start. You know, that extra week now that these guys have all had out here, it starts to get to be a grind. You know, the morning workouts, although there are things that you need to do to get ready for the season, but you know, these guys are trained to go out there for so many weeks and get ready to go. And sometimes guys get a little bit on edge. You start getting tired of different guys on your team and guys on the other teams, and
you're wearing the same uniform every day.
You want to get this thing going, start traveling, get out there.
1 more week to go. Opening day a week from today against the Giants at Chase Field. The 0-2 to Geyer. And as we mentioned, the Diamondbacks will see plenty of these Cleveland Indians over the next week or so. We'll see the Tribe at Chase Field for the final 2 exhibition games of this spring. That's coming up Thursday and Friday. We'll have both of those games on TV for you. And then Cleveland is right back at Chase Field for a 3-game series, April 7th, 8th, and 9th. the second series of the season, the first weekend against these Indians.
It's going to be exciting there for opening day. You got a lot of festivities going on with the Final Four. Downtown ought to be jumping.
Squibb shot to second. Negron runs all the way over, almost to the first base line, and tosses it to Jake Gobert for the second out. So 2 down for Caleb Fleck, and here's the first baseman, Chris Colabello. Colabello's a fascinating story. He's from the Boston area, played at Assumption College. And that's in Worcester, Massachusetts, kind of near Nick Ahmed territory. But Colabello was not even drafted coming out of college. And so he played his first 7 years as a professional in independent ball. 7 years in indie ball. He was a Worcester Tornado, played for the Nashua Pride in the Can-Am League. Finally signed after 7 years with the Twins and debuted as a 29-year-old big league rookie a few years ago. Chris Owings has that one. Caleb Fleck works a 1-2-3 pitch. Diamondbacks trail the Tribe 6-2. Tuned for the 1-hour D-back season preview show as you get the inside info about the team and meet some of the new faces. It's D-back season preview show brought to you by Chaz Roberts. That coming up right after our game today. We've had a little bit of a power outage. The scoreboard is dead out in left center. And I think our picture is gone too.
Robbie Ray came out of the game and pulled the plug on everybody.
He
here.
may have. So we'll do a little radio here as Chris Owings leads off the bottom of the 5th against Trevor Bauer. Diamondbacks trail the Indians 6-2. We understand you still have your picture at home. Gonzo and I are in the dark, but that's nothing new with us.
Bauer's still out there pitching, so.
New second baseman for the Indians. Jonathan Mendoza has taken over for Robertson at second. And the scoreboard and our electric picture here in the booth went at the same time. There's a strike.
Bauer, who was once in the Diamondbacks organization, has done a great job of continue to be a big piece to the puzzle there with the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, his 6th start this spring, Trevor Bauer. His previous outing came against the Dodgers last Monday, when he got his 2nd Cactus League win. He's 2-0 this spring. Of course, the D-backs made Bauer the 3rd overall pick in the 2011 draft, and he strikes out Owens. Now 8 strikeouts for Trevor Bauer. But Bauer just didn't fit here, didn't work out. It was not a good fit, so he was dealt to Cleveland after the 2012 season. And he certainly has had some success with the Indians, but the consistency at the big league level has yet to really show up. David Peralta homered his last time up, and he squirts one the other way into left field. A 1-out single.
Nice job by Peralta. They're just going with a pitch over the outer half of the plate, just scooting between shortstop and third base. Looks like his afternoon will be done.
Jeremy Hazelbaker will run for Peralta. Here's Jake Gobert, who took over at first for Goldie. Robertson, who was replaced at second base by Mendoza, has moved out to center field. He's out there now instead of Austin Jackson. Jake Gobert rolls one into right. Hazelbaker first to third. He's in there. Jeremy Hazelbaker really is a good base runner. He's impressed with his base running all spring long.
Yeah, that was a nice piece of running right there. He saw that ball going into right field, not hit very hard. Took an aggressive turnaround second. Knew in his mind as soon as it was hit, he was going to try to make that run to get to third base.
So a couple of 1-out singles have runners on the corners for the Diamondbacks, and in his return from the oblique injury, it's Yasmani Tomas. Tomas walked his first time up today, scored on a Descalso double, scored all the way from first. And then in the third, got his first hit this spring, a double down the right field line. He's got Hazelbaker at third, Gobert at first. Tomas, who came into this game 0 for 17 on the spring. His first game today in 3 weeks. And he looks at strike one.
I mean, he's a guy that the D-backs are looking for. Some big power numbers again last year, hitting over 30 home runs. So he's going to be a guy who's going to be counted on this year to provide that offensive power once again.
31 home runs, 83 RBIs, hit 30 doubles. Torey Lovello has been consistent throughout the spring, saying that the new group, the front office and the coaches, feels very comfortable that last year's numbers for Yasmani were not a fluke. And here he is in his age 26 season, a chance to be a real offensive threat and a big run-producing bat in the middle of this lineup. Drive this one deep to right field. El Monte's there. He's got the catch at the track. Hazelbaker tags. Another RBI for Yasmani Tomas, and it's a 6-3 ball game. That's Tomas's first RBI this spring. So Gonzo, a good return for Yasmani today.
Nice at bat there for him, just looking for something up. It's almost like free at bat if you can stay away from the ground ball to get an RBI there first and third. He just looked for something up in the zone and got it out to right field, get that easy RBI.
Daniel Descalso has doubled and struck out. The more you watch Daniel Descalso, it's not like we haven't seen him before, last 2 years in Colorado and before that with Tony La Russa in St. Louis, but the more you see him this spring, the more you think this guy's really going to be a nice pickup.
Yeah, he's a professional player. He knows what he's doing out there.
Diamondbacks get one back. It's 6-3 as we head to the 6th. 6th inning. And the new pitcher, the left-hander T.J. McFarland, released by the Orioles shortly after spring training began, was picked up by the Diamondbacks. He's pitched parts of the last 4 years with Baltimore, almost always in relief. His numbers in the minor leagues last year, a host of defensive changes around T.J. McFarland. And that ends the day for Yasmani Tomas, replaced in left field by Jake Gobert. Gobert had been at first base in place of Goldie. So Gobert moves to left. Rudy Flores takes over at first. Jeremy Hazelbaker, who ran for David Peralta, stays in the game and plays right field. New third baseman is Marty Harum. He's got no play. And Robertson is aboard to lead off the 6th.
That's almost like a swinging bunt right there. He got a high chopper, but that second hop just kind of stayed down, made it a tough play for him to make that play. Wise decision there just to hold on to it, not make that throw.
There's Marty Harum, who had a 3-run home run yesterday at Tampa against the Angels. Takes over at third base for Daniel Descalso. Giovanni Urshela, an RBI single his last time up. Owing still at shortstop, Negron still at second, and Chris Herman still behind the plate.
Usually towards the end of spring, maybe these next couple days, you'll start to see the complete starting lineup that you think that he's going to start running out there, because you want to see a little bit of camaraderie with these guys and where they're going to be hitting.
And the other part of that is, Gonzo, that Torrey has said they're not going to wait until the last day to finalize the 25-man roster. Double play ball. Owings, a nice stop. Negron can't quite turn it. Nicely done by the D-backs infield. But Urshela, who runs pretty well, beats it out at first. Some COD behind the bag at second.
That's a nice play by Chris Owings. Didn't get a lot on it. He just had to kind of roll it over to Negron, and Negron makes a nice job just trying to get that turned.
You find it very difficult to believe that, based on what we've seen, Chris Owings won't be the shortstop on opening day.
Well, I got to agree with you. I think that he's done a fantastic job. He's done all the little things, everything that he's had to work on to be that guy.
And, you know, Nick Ahmed has been in a heated competition with Chris and Ketel Marte as well. We've seen a lot and liked a lot about Ildemaro Vargas. One more chance for Chris Owings. Charges this one. And he throws out Michael Martinez as Urshela moves into second. I mean, Chris Owings, the defense has been solid. He's not played nearly as much right field as we thought he might. I think mostly because he's done such a good job at shortstop. He's hit over 400 this spring. He's got a couple of home runs. And boy, does he look good.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think everybody who knows our shortstop situation knows that Nick Ahmed is the #1 defensive guy, if not just with our organization, probably one of the tops in all of Major League Baseball. But just the offensive numbers aren't there. He just hasn't been able to make that adjustment of being able to swing the bat on a steady basis. And I think Chris Owings brings you a little bit of both steady defense, and he's a great bat at the plate.
Here's Mendoza, who took over at second base. Again, we saw last week Nick Ahmed's name come up in some reported trade rumors, with teams like the Padres, the Rays, and the Yankees all interested. That competition for shortstop has probably been the most heated position battle this spring. Everybody that's played there has looked good.
It's good to have some depth in certain positions. That obviously creates those trade talks that you were talking about there. Everybody's calling in on Nick Ahmed. Obviously, he's been a hot topic lately. Everybody was looking for that guy, in the middle of the infielder that can pick it, shortstop. Nick is that player.
And Torrey has said the D-backs were going to take as much time as they possibly can to get that starting shortstop question answered right. But boy, it sure looks throughout the Cactus League season that Chris Owings has been the answer. Ketel Marte has looked good, and Nick Ahmed has looked good too. He's moving around very well coming off that hip injury. And Ildemaro Vargas certainly impressed. But Vargas is in minor league camp. He'll start the season at AAA Reno. I'm not sure what that means for Nick. It doesn't seem, Gonzo, like there'd be much point in having him start the season in AAA, because you've got depth there with Marte and you've got depth with Vargas, but that's an option too.
Yeah, and I don't, it's a good piece to have. Obviously, if there's a weakness or something that you need.
Mendoza knocks it into right. They wave Urshela, and he is out at home. Chris Herman applies the tag. Jeremy Hazelbaker the throw that ends the inning. 6-3 D-backs trail the Tribe. Spring training jobs, and Jeremy Hazelbaker trying to win a fourth outfield role.
Yeah, no doubt here he gets a ball hit to him out in right field, makes a nice strong throw to the plate. Nice tag by Chris Herman to get the runner out at home.
Our Cox Gigalive high speed highlights. Jeremy Hazelbaker throws out the runner at home plate. TJ McFarland down at the 6th inning. We head to the home half now, and it's 6-3 Cleveland leads the D-backs. Chris Herman will lead it off.
Hazelbaker, another player who's done some damage in the big leagues too, that's looking to try to find a spot here on the Diamondbacks team.
Yeah, Hazelbaker had a sensational start to last season with the St. Louis Cardinals. Hit a bunch of home runs. Another left-hand bat the Diamondbacks have been looking at all spring long. And Hazelbaker can play all three outfield positions, including center field, which is always a big deal. They've got Gregor Blanco as well, but Blanco is down right now with a right side injury. He's just got some soreness in there. Bauer didn't like the footing on that one. And he's behind 2-0.
And we talked earlier, the guys that they have brought in are baseball players. They know how to play the game. They've done all the little things, and they're proven winners wherever they've been. And they've been in organizations that have won. So those are pieces that they're trying to find to bring in here to mix in with some of these everyday young players that we have with the Diamondbacks. It's all about an attitude. If these guys get that winning attitude and that feeling in there, it's going to be hard to beat a team like that.
Herman ahead, 3 balls and no strikes. He has struck out and singled so far today. And there's a walk to lead off the 6th, third walk of the ball game issued by Trevor Bauer. Bauer has walked 3, struck out 8. And he's a little unhappy with that landing spot on the mound.
see that happen more times than not in spring training, where you're getting a constant change of pitchers out there on the mound. Certain guys like different landing spots.
And that seems like the kind of thing that might throw Trevor Bauer a little more than other pitchers. He seems to be a little easily sidetracked out there from time to time. Here's Christopher DeGrom. Bauer throws hard, always has, but the control has been a problem as well. Led the American League in walks 2 years ago. Last year, modest improvement, but he still walked about 3.5 runners for every 9 innings pitched. DeGrom drives this to right field. Almonte's out there at the track, and he'll play it off the wall. Herman on the run. He's going to stop at third, and it's a double for Christopher DeGrom.
Certainly is going to help DeGrom's chances here around the Diamondbacks. Gets a nice pitch there, and he drives it over the right fielder's head. Short hop the wall.
Don't believe that Terry Francona is here today. His longtime bench coach Brad Mills will pay a mound visit now and talk to Trevor Bauer. There's no one throwing yet in the Cleveland bullpen, but well, they're going to bring in a guy right now. There's a guy throwing behind the screen there, so that's it for Trevor Bauer. Diamondbacks threatening here, 6-3 in the 6th. Tying run at the plate with no outs in the home half of the 6th inning. Trevor Bauer's left the game, and on from the Cleveland bullpen, the left-hander James Russell. Big dude out there at 6'4", 205. It's been 6 years with the Cubs. Last year pitched in only 7 games with the Philadelphia Phillies. Chris Herman, the runner at third. Christopher DeGrom at second. Nobody out, and the batter is Raymond Fuentes, who has walked and flied out. There's the strike, and it's 0-1.
Well, this is a good test for Fuentes here, coming up second and third. Got a couple runners in scoring position. Try to get those runs in. Infield playing back.
Chop foul behind Dave McKay at first. Raymond Fuentes was a first-round pick by the Boston Red Sox in the 2009 draft. He was the 28th player selected overall in that draft out of Puerto Rico. And a year later, he was traded to the Padres as part of the deal that sent Adrian Gonzalez to Boston. Well, that seems like 100 years ago.
Yep.
And then Fuentes spent 4 years in San Diego's system before he was traded to Kansas City. Signed with the D-backs in December. Russell comes in and gets the strikeout, 1 down. And now Nick Ahmed will hit in the pitcher's spot. So a chance for Nick. Torey Lovullo was talking about the competition for that shortstop job and said, you know, it's kind of a boxing match, and right now everybody is slugging it out. So they have waited a long time to name a starting shortstop, and they'll continue to wait. But Nick has looked good. He's moving around well. He's got that spring back in his step. He kind of lost last year because of his hip injury. He was able to play in only 90 games. Over the head of Herman at third. Nick did not play a game last season after July 22nd.
He's had his share of at-bats too. 51 at-bats in spring training.
Chris Herman is at third. Christopher Negron at second. Base hit here for Nick and make it a one-run ball game.
Nick with 2 strikes now needs to try to get the ball in play, get this run in.
You know, for a guy that doesn't hit a ton, he's got a pretty good 2-strike approach. Archie Bradley has begun warming up at the Diamondback bullpen. As Ahmed hits for the pitcher. John Gomes able to hang on, and there's the strikeout. Second strikeout for Russell. And that'll bring up Chris Owings.
You see that pitch down, it's just dipping down. Nick chased a pitch a little bit out of the strike zone. A couple tough at-bats there with Fuentes and Nick Ahmed. And these are things that you'd like to see them get better at, especially with runners in scoring position. Less than 2 outs when you're trying to win a job, you're battling out there. Try to get those runs in.
RBI spot for Chris Owings, who's 0 for 3. Struck out twice against Trevor Bauer. Here's Archie Bradley. He's still got the beard. And Archie will begin the season on the opening day roster, but in the bullpen and not in the starting rotation, which is just fine with him. Owings slams one to left. Brantley's there, and he makes the running catch. Diamondbacks strand 2. They trail it 6-3. Trailed the Indians 6-3. Fans MLB.TV Premium is back, and this year it's better than ever. You can watch out-of-market regular season games, spring training games, or you could have watched the World Baseball Classic live on over 400 supported devices. Visit dbacks.com.tv.
When I'm out on the road checking you guys out on MLB TV, trying to catch the games.
Well, it's a great service. It's unbelievable. And, you know, and for what you have to pay, it's not all that expensive.
It's awesome, especially when you're traveling on the road. You're away from the city and get to pick up you and Bob Brenly doing the call.
Any game, anytime, TV or radio. Archie Bradley out there to start the 7th inning against Michael Brantley. And this is Archie's role on opening day. D-backs will put the shift on. Nick Ahmed, who stays in the ball game, takes over at shortstop. Moves over into short right field. Marty Harum, the third baseman, the only man on the left side of the infield for the D-backs. New catcher is Ronnie Freeman. New pitcher is Archie Bradley. Brantley homered in the first, his first of the spring. He's 1 for 3.
The shift is on, obviously. A lot of teams do it a different way. Most teams will shift the short or the third baseman actually into short right field. So you only feel like you only have one guy out of position. The Diamondbacks are sliding the third baseman over to short, and Ahmed, the shortstop, has now moved into short right field.
And there you see Harum, the third baseman, basically in the shortstop spot. Negron in front of the second base umpire, and Ahmed in short right. Brantley hits a high chopper over the mound right to Negron. And that's the first out in the 7th. Well, Torey Lovullo announced his starting rotation just over, a few days ago. And it did not include Archie Bradley, but Archie was awarded a spot on the opening day roster as a reliever. There's the catcher, Yan Gomes. And Torey was pretty clear when he said, look, Archie made the team because the coaches and the staff, everybody, really believes that he is one of the best pieces they can fit into the bullpen, period. I mean, when push comes to shove, you just want good pitchers back there, and Archie's had a good spring.
Coach might tell you.
I mean, he was happy just to be on the ball club, Archie Bradley. He said, look, just put me on the team. It doesn't matter where.
Yeah, and I think that's a good piece to have there in the bullpen, because he can fill in if you do have a guy that has a rough outing early. He could just come right in and kind of be the long man. His arm has been trained to do that. Sometimes a lot of these relievers, you try to look for that long man reliever, and it looks like this could be his spot. You never know.
1-2 on Gomes. Well, that was the next question for Torey, was, okay, Archie's in the bullpen. Well, how's he going to be used? And Torey was, very quick to point out that, look, he might not be a long man. He might not be the 7th inning guy. Might not be the 8th inning guy. We don't know. We'll see. This is knocked into right center field, and that will roll all the way to the wall. Yan Gomes, who doubled in the 2nd, doubles in the 7th. He's 2 for 4. And he'll come out of the game for a pinch runner.
He got that fastball in the outer half, and just a nice swing there into right center field.
Logan Ice. Ice Baby pinch running at 2nd for Gomes. Logan Ice.
I'm sure that might be his walk-up song.
It better be, I tell you that. Abraham Almonte swinging a miss, 0-1. One of the great things, Gonzo, as the season wears on, is to watch how a bullpen on any team evolves, because it seems like the bullpen evolves more so over the course of the year than any other spot of the ball club. And sometimes in a negative way. Didn't work out very well last year. But I think that's good for Archie. He doesn't have to worry. Am I the 7th inning guy? Am I the 8th inning guy? Am I the long guy? It doesn't matter. Just go pitch.
Yeah, and I think for him, it's probably better that way, that he's not on alert all the time. So, as the season progresses and it gets along, these guys will figure out which guy's going to be the 7th, the 8th inning guy, and then Archie will know, I'm sure by about after a month or two into the season, their roles will start to separate. Guys will figure out, and the coaching staff will let them know this is where you're going to be after maybe a couple games. Sometimes it doesn't even take them telling you. You'll see when the phone rings, the same guy's going to be getting up for certain left-handed specialists, things like that, and then they know.
Well, there have been scouts who've insisted that maybe Archie is a relief pitcher anyway, because up until this year he's been primarily a 2-pitch guy, fastball, curveball. But this spring he's really come a long way with a changeup, which is the pitch he's been searching for years now. And he's got kind of a combo cutter slider that he started throwing this spring, and now he's got 4 pitches that work pretty well. Drop that one in there, and he strikes out Almonte.
Boy, I know you just said about him learning how to throw that changeup a little bit better. And the more pitches you have, the better. Here you see that backdoor breaking ball right here, just locks him up right on the outer side of the box. Because when you go into the game, more times than not, you're not going to have all your pitches working for you. So if you're a 2-pitch guy and you can't throw that breaking ball for a strike, it's going to make it for a long day for you, or a short outing for you, because.
And we've seen Archie have days just like that too.
And if you don't have that plus fastball throwing 97, 98, where you can actually just throw it by guys, you're not going to be in the ball game very long, especially with professional hitters up there.
Rodriguez hits for the DH Brandon Geyer. Norma Rodriguez. And we've seen plenty of good young starting pitchers, guys that have gone on to have very good careers as starting pitchers. Spend that first season or two in the bullpen. Adam Wainwright did that when he first came up with the Cardinals.
Well, we should only hope that we get an Archie Bradley to finish up like an Adam Wainwright.
How about that? Doesn't work out nicely. But Archie has been super enthusiastic about the way he's thrown the ball this spring. He's been getting ahead in counts, and when he's gotten ahead, he's been putting guys away for the most part. And throwing all 4 pitches, that fastball, curveball, changeup, cutter.
And I think for him at this point of his career, you learn a lot from getting sent up and down, back and forth, AAA, big leagues, AAA, big leagues, and you put a little more added pressure on yourself. You want to figure it out and say, I'll do whatever I have to do to stay up here. And I think he's to that point now where he's put a little bit more time and effort into trying to learn some different things, some mechanics, and some different pitches, and talking to other players on the team to try to figure this thing out. He doesn't want to go back down to AAA. He wants to be the guy to stay in the big leagues and have a long career up here.
Well, he was adamant when he was named to the opening day roster in a bullpen spot. He said, look, I'd rather be in the big leagues in the bullpen than in AAA as a starter. Full count on Rodriguez, 3-2. High heat at 94, and he blew him away. 2 strikeouts for Archie Bradley. Diamondbacks trail at 6-3. talking stick. Steve Berthiaume, Luis Gonzalez along the way. D-backs trail the Indians 6-3. And David Peralta accounting for one of those D-backs runs, a solo homer in the third. Over the batter's eye, our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing pool played the game.
Boy, that had to feel good for David Peralta. That was an absolute bomb up to center field.
Peralta's second home run this spring. He had a couple of base hits today, a homer and a single. And we start the home half of the seventh in a 6-3 ball game. New pitcher for the Indians, the right-hander Dan Otero, who's had a really good spring. Last year, 5-1, a 1.53 ERA. He led the Indians in relief innings. And he's looked good again this spring. There is his number from last year. As Jeremy Hazelbaker will lead off the bottom of the seventh for the Diamondbacks. Another big crowd here in Scottsdale on a sunny Sunday in the Cactus League. This is the Diamondbacks' second to last game here this spring. The Angels are in tomorrow. We'll have that game for you on Fox Sports Arizona. We'll pick up the Angels feed. And then Tuesday, the D-backs are in Peoria to play the Mariners. And Thursday and Friday, the final two exhibition games of the spring against these Indians at Chase Field. We'll have both those games for you on television as well. And then a week from today, we start the grind, Gonzo. The Giants are in for opening day.
Should be a lot of fun. Two frontline pitchers going at it.
Hazelbaker, first pitch from Otero, a single up the middle.
You always get excited for opening day. Night before as a player, you go to bed that night, you're anticipating and you're hoping and dreaming that this is a career year for you, and you could be one of those guys at the end of the season standing on top of the mountain as a champion. And it is no different for this Arizona Diamondbacks team. These guys are excited about this coming season.
Every year a clean slate. Here's Jake Gobert, who has played first base and left field today. Gobert last season in Durham with the Tampa Bay Rays AAA team. And he's ahead 2-0. Trenton Brooks has checked into the game for Cleveland, replacing Abraham Almonte in right field. And that looks like the only change for Cleveland. Gobert ahead 3-0. Otero had a terrific year last year and a very good spring. A single and a walk to open up the seventh.
Nice job by the D-backs here, getting a couple runners on here early.
Here's Marty Harum, the third baseman. Harum had a 3-run homer yesterday against the Angels in Tempe. His numbers last year, Class A Visalia in the Cal League.
I'm amazed how these guys are coming up from like A-ball now and just coming in, stepping into the big league spring training. And like Harum yesterday, hitting that three-run homer yesterday. These guys, they don't have any fear anymore when they're coming up. These guys are ready to go once they step in and put these minor league and big league uniforms on.
And it's great for D-backs fans and for us as well to put, you know, a face to the name, because you'll see these numbers over the course of the year when you check the minor league stats from time to time. Sort of get a sense of who the guy is. Hazelbaker at second and Gobert at first. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. So Marty Harum.
Well, and to them, it's almost like a reward too for having a good year, and lets them know that the organization knows who they are and saying, hey, you're not that far away. We're calling you up. We want you to come in here, whether it's sit on the bench and get some experience, or if you get the call to come into the game.
Chopped to shortstop, and they're going to have to settle for a 1 out as Hazelbaker gets into third. Rudy Flores.
Opportunity here, first and third, 1 out. Stay away from the double play. You want to get something elevated in the strike zone, try to get it out into the outfield. The crowd behind home plate has cooled off a little bit now. That shadow is starting to creep in.
About that time. Boy, Otero's having a tough time throwing strikes. He's already walked 1 in the inning, and he's behind on Flores, 3-0. Ronnie Freeman, the catcher, is on deck. He would be next. Base hit. Hazelbaker scores. Harum stops at second. 6-4 ball game.
How about that? A 3-0 green light.
Well, March 26th, I guess you get those, right? After 6-7 weeks. So the RBI for Rudy Flores makes it a 6-4 ball game. And here's Ronnie Freeman.
Nice job there to get that ball between first and second.
Ronnie Freeman spent most of last year with AA Mobile, finished up at AAA Reno. Out of Snellville, Georgia. Diamondbacks draft pick in 2012, 5th rounder out of Kennesaw State. Harum at second and Flores at first. Tied him up inside. 0-2.
I think he's going to come back in there again, although he's been struggling with his control. He did. He tried to tie him up. Just barely got a piece of it to stay alive.
Dan Otero was used a lot last year. 6 appearances in the postseason. 6 2/3 innings in the playoffs. Gave up only 2 runs. Otero pitched 2/3 of an inning yesterday in a loss to the White Sox. Faced a couple of batters. So he's working back-to-back days. 1-2 on Freeman. Urshela at third. They get 1 and they roll the double play. But the Diamondbacks get 1 back. They've out-hit the Indians 9-8, but they trail at 6-4. start the 8th inning here at Salt River Field. The Talking Stick. Hey fans, only a week to go. Opening day a week from today. It's brought to you by Amstel X Light. Next Sunday, the D-backs will start the season against the San Francisco Giants. Opening day. Coverage begins at noon. A special 1-hour D-backs live pregame show only on Fox Sports Arizona. You can also stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Zach Greinke and Madison Bumgarner rolling around on the berm here in Scottsdale on a beautiful Sunday. Chris Colabello, who homered and doubled, will lead off the 8th against Archie Bradley.
What a great ballpark to bring your family out, enjoy it.
Boy, these tickets are really, really tough to get. Every year we break record crowds, and did that again on Thursday with 14,002 in here to watch the Cubs. The Rockies set a Rockies record the other day for their attendance, 13,000 plus. Colabello, a 3-run homer in the first and a double in the third. He's 2 for 3.
This is always a great destination for a lot of those cold weather cities. The teams that spring train here, a lot of fans come down.
I tell you what, if you're sitting there in Cleveland freezing your you-know-what off and you come here and stand on the Pepsi porch in Scottsdale and look out at these mountains, this must seem like baseball paradise, and it's pretty close.
You could think about relocating, wouldn't it?
I did. I'm all in. There it is. Look at that view. You know, it's interesting about this ballpark. Most times when you build a facility like this, you dig down, you dig a hole down in the ground. But here they actually raised it so that when you're in the upper sections, you can see those mountains over everything in the outfield. So they thought about everything when they built this place. Colabello already with 1 home run, just misses another one. It's off the base of the wall in right field. Close play at second, and he's in there. Chris Colabello, a home run and 2 doubles.
Well, I think when he hit it, he thought he got it out of the ballpark because he was just jogging like he hit a home run. He figured out he had to put it in overdrive. He got his arms extended one more time. There you see him just kind of jogging lightly, and then he realizes I don't think that ball's going to get out, and throws it into overdrive there and just barely gets into second base.
Yeah, it kind of died out there on him.
He's put a charge into 3 balls today. 1 he hit out in the left center field berm, and then 2 off the right center field wall.
Gabriel Mejia is the hitter. Ulysses Cantu will run for Colabello. Mejia hits that foul.
You talked about the views here of this ballpark. Spring training is always nice for the fans, especially if you want to get up close and personal with some of your favorite ball players in the backfields. It's kind of one of the secrets of baseball. You can go back there if you have young kids. Come out to the ballpark early, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and you get to see some of the guys doing some extra work.
It was built and designed with just that in mind, the sort of walking paths that meander through all the backfields here. And you know, you're not fenced off in this facility and kept at a distance. You can get right up there and watch them work.
And the players walk right by you. There's no fence in between you guys. And this is the Diamondbacks team has always prided itself in being accommodating to the fans. That's one thing the front office preaches here, is they always want to get players that are giving ball players. You want them to be good athletes, number one, but you want them to be good citizens in the community and be good people and learn to give back.
Done an excellent job with that, there's no doubt. 2-2 to Mejia.
Mejia looks all of about 15 years old up there on the plate.
Weighs maybe a $110 soaking wet. Cantu running for Colabello at second. Indians defending American League champions. And with the return of Michael Brantley and the addition of Edwin Encarnacion, they are considered the favorites to repeat in the AL this year. They're probably the best team in the American League, at least on paper, whatever that means. Last year, Cleveland won the AL Central by 8 games over the Tigers. Finished with 94 wins and went all the way to Game 7 of the World Series. And they've got their 2 starting pitchers back healthy this year, Carlos Carrasco and Salazar. Boy, Mejia's a little pest up there. No one warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Archie Bradley out for his 2nd inning of work in relief. Giovanni Urshela, the 3rd baseman, on deck.
You see that beard starting to catch on there, the Archie Bradley beard.
You saw what happened. Robbie Ray shaved his and had a rough day today. Gave up 5 runs in the 1st inning.
Those guys got the portable beards. They can just, if they see Archie shave his, I guess they can take theirs off too.
Boy, this is a terrific at bat right here for Gabriel Mejia. Switch hitter. Mostly fastballs from Archie Bradley so far. A couple of curves, still 2-2. Waves it one in the dirt. Freeman completes the strikeout. 3rd strikeout for Archie. 1 down in the 8th.
He did his job making Archie throw a lot of pitches there. That was the 10th pitch of the at bat. Frustrating for a hitter. You battle that long and then all of a sudden you swing at one in the dirt. Archie did a great job there of mixing it up.
Urshela, the 3rd baseman, an RBI single in the 3rd. On the ground, a shortstop for Nick Ahmed. Nice scoop at first by Flores, 2 down. Alexis Pantoja, the shortstop.
Although Archie's guy they're counting on to coming out of the pen, he's already at 36 pitches or 37 pitches, so apparently they want him to keep his pitch count going.
Well, that's sort of the great debate, isn't it? I mean, you got a guy who's been a starting pitcher his entire professional career. Now he's going to work in the bullpen. Okay, that's fine, but how stretched out do you keep him? Or just say he's the long man and hope he gets some innings from time to time? Or
yeah, and I think once they figure that out, because most starters learn how to pace themselves a little bit, you know, figuring it out how much they're going to have to exert themselves and for high stress innings and different things like that. And if Archie knows he's going out there for 1 inning, then he could blow it out for 1 inning and throw as hard as he can for as long as he can. But you know, if you know you got 2 or 3 innings up there, you try to pace a little bit and you leave those bullets in the chambers until you need to throw it.
well, we saw the Indians last year with Andrew Miller. Miller would oftentimes come in and throw multiple innings, and that's sort of become trendy this year with some of these big league bullpens. A guy that can give you more than one inning, and Archie could certainly do that.
Well, I know they always say the toughest out is the last out of the game, but for me, I always thought about it as if you got your 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up in the 8th inning, why wouldn't you want to bring in your best closer? You're going to face the heart of the order, especially in a close game. You're going to bring in a guy who, is the setup guy for the guy in the 9th. You want to have your best going against the best part of that batting order. I think more teams are starting to go that route. You're starting to see those closing guys throwing multiple innings or being used earlier in the ball game.
Yeah, just because you're going to throw multiple innings in the bullpen doesn't mean they have to be garbage innings when you're down 7-1 in the 5th inning. You could bring a guy in, pitch the 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th in a close ball game. And we're seeing that more and more.
We want to make sure here they're on the same page. Diamondbacks have been making a run trying to get back in this game. Archie doesn't want to give up a cheap hit here to give them an extra run, especially with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
That's a foul ball. Well, Archie had a very encouraging finish to last year. I mean, his final 7 starts last season, he was 4-1. The velocity moved back up from the low 90s up more to the mid 90s where it had been a couple of years ago. And he may have saved his best start for last year when he struck out 11 Padres without a walk October 1st. He's got 4 strikeouts in 2 innings today. Archie Bradley works the 7th and the 8th. Diamondbacks trail at 6-4. The Indians 6-4. Fans, right after our ball game today, remember, stay tuned for the 1-hour D-backs season preview show. All the inside info about the team. We'll meet some of the new faces. We'll talk to Torey Lovello, Mike Hazett, Taijuan Walker. AJ Pollock joins us on that show as well. The D-backs season preview. It's presented by Chaz Roberts right after the game here on Fox Sports Arizona. You were not involved in that production. A little disappointed, frankly. Well, you were too busy.
Seems like I'm very busy all the time now.
You are the official Diamondbacks ambassador. Christopher Negron leads off the 8th against the new pitcher Carlos Frias. 27-year-old right-hander from the Dominican Republic, former LA Dodger. spent most of last season injured. He worked only 4 innings for the Dodgers last year. Started and finished the season on the DL with a right oblique strain. He missed the first month of last season with that injury. Spent some time in the minor leagues trying to rehab. And then Frias very briefly came back to the big leagues in July. Made his one and what turned out to be only appearance with the Dodgers. Went right back on the DL, and that's where he finished up the year. Dodgers let him go in January, and he wound up with Cleveland. Three and one now on Christopher Negron. Negron doubled his last time up. I am told that you are involved in the pregame show coming up. You had a secret, apparently secret off-site interview with David Peralta.
I did.
That was done in Spanish, is that right? As Negron strikes out.
I'm trying to show another side to my personality there.
Well, there are so many.
I did not know that was going to be one of the features.
Yeah, that's apparently coming up in our 1-hour season preview show. That'll be seen right after this ball game. Raymond Fuentes, the center fielder, walked in the third. He's 0 for 2. How was the freight train? Do you remember any of that interview?
I do. That was shot a while back, but yes, it was a lot of fun. It was interesting to hear some of his insight on how he how he became from a pitcher to a position player. And a little bit of where he worked before he started as a.
Oh, the McDonald's stuff? Yeah. He had to work at a McDonald's just to get money to go drive and play independent ball in Texas, where he was originally in Florida. They had a residence down there, he and Jordan, and he needed money to get to Amarillo or Wichita or someplace, and so he worked at McDonald's for gas money, basically, so he could drive across the country and play independent ball. Another at bat for Nick Ahmed now. Now, what is your Spanish background? What languages did you grow up with? Did you grow up with Did you grow up with both in the household?
Well, Spanish, Cuban. My family is Cuban, so I grew up speaking Spanish in my household.
So mostly Spanish-speaking relatives in your house?
Well, they're bilingual, but yes, mostly Spanish was the easy language in our house.
Right. Well, you've mastered English, I can tell you that.
I struggled at English and Spanish, believe me, at times.
I struggled just with one.
You know, in the Hispanic household, when your first name and middle name is called, you run and hide is what happens.
Oh, that's when you know you're in trouble?
Yes, absolutely.
When you get the full name.
You get the full name calling, then you're like, not good.
I remember when you and Todd Walsh visited the old neighborhood a couple of years ago when we were playing the Rays in Tampa Bay. Todd got a gonzo tour. Ahmed drives one to center.
Nice play out there in center field.
Mejia just had that extended at bat. Two down now.
It looks like he's wearing a pair of ski goggles out there.
Evan Marzilli. I believe this is the pitcher spot, the leadoff spot. So Marzilli will hit for Bradley. There is action in the Diamondback bullpen, as we saw a moment ago. Looks like Marlon Arias, the left-hander, warming up down there. There's the numbers on Marzilli. There he is with bullpen coach Mike Fetters. I think more time in the bullpen, Fett's going to have that look more often. You know, usually only broke it out when he was facing you in the Legends game. But see, he's sort of got that closer look now. He may wear that expression all the time.
He's never happy, is he?
But he's, you know, he's got that thing going he used to have out there on the mound, and I think just standing around at the bullpen all the time he's sort of gotten back into that mode. That's a game face right there.
You know, I think he'll help some of those guys out too in the bullpen because he's been in that role throughout his career. So he'll be able to, you know, when you're sitting around, there's a lot of downtime for these guys out there in the bullpen during the game. He'll probably give them some tips on what to pick up and keep an eye on the batting orders and who's on the bench. Help these guys learn a little bit more about the game.
It's funny with Fett because he's a very warm guy and he's always sort of relaxed and joking around. But you put him in the bullpen and he gets that look again.
An intensity level.
100 big league saves right there. Was it against Fett that one game where you tried to bunt, or you didn't bunt? Remember that? I got on you about that.
Oh yeah, that was He put everybody in the ballpark in right field.
Marzilli drops it into left center.
Nice piece of hitting there by Marzilli. He's a good little player. I like him.
Really good college player at South Carolina. So 2 on and 2 out for Hazelbaker, who singled and scored his last time up. Fuentes is the runner at second, Marzilli at first.
It'll be nice to see Hazelbaker here with 2 outs. If he can run into one, he's been known to hit that big homer when you need it.
Hazelbaker had been a career minor leaguer. Finally, last season, broke into the big leagues with the St. Louis Cardinals as a 28-year-old rookie. And showed some power from the left-hand side. He had 12 homers last year. Belts that one into center. This will score Fuentes. Marzilli heads for third. Here's the throw, and he's in there. Hazelbaker, a really good base runner, sneaks into second. We mentioned that earlier, Gonzo. This guy has impressed on the bases.
Well, he really has. Nice piece of running there to take that extra base now. Actually puts him in scoring position. That's a nice piece of hitting right back up the middle. Almost takes the second base umpire out. More importantly, when he takes second base, now that puts the go-ahead runner in scoring position.
So the D-backs can take the lead with a 2-out single, and Jake Gobert has the chance. 2 on and 2 out. Gobert walked his first time up. He had a single in the 5th, then he walked, so it was 1 for 1. Came in early. Goldie left the ball game after only 2 at-bats. He's just fine. Gobert took over at first and then moved to left field.
Yeah, I thought Goldie was going to be a guy today to get about 3 or 4 at-bats, just get him some more, but apparently he's feeling pretty good. He feels good about it.
Marzilli the tying run at third. Hazelbaker the go-ahead run at second. And Gobert down 0-2. Gobert played his college ball at Northwestern. A 13th round pick by the Astros in 09. His only career major league appearances have been with the San Diego Padres. That was back in 2014. Broken bat bouncer, that's foul.
He's going to have to go pick up a new piece of lumber there. That ball got in on him.
Diamondbacks are on TV much of this week. We will pick up the Angels feed from this ballpark tomorrow. So you can see that game, 1 o'clock start on Fox Sports Arizona. And that'll be the final game for the D-backs here at Salt River Fields this year. They're at Peoria to take on Seattle on Tuesday, and then televised games at Chase Field Thursday and Friday against these Indians. All that before opening day a week from today against the Giants. Gobert. Oh, it's smothered at first by Cantu, and Frias gets over to cover. Diamondbacks get one. They make it a 1-run ball game. We head to the 9th at 6-5 Cleveland. Fields a talking stick. Our Gila River game summary. A rough first inning for Robbie Ray, who gave up 5 runs in the first. Michael Brantley a 2-run homer. Chris Colabello with 3-run shots. So just like that, it was 5-0 Cleveland. Diamondbacks have chipped away over the course of the ball game and now trail at 6-5 as we start the 9th. And the new pitcher for the D-backs, the left-hander Marlon Arias. He'll work the 9th inning. Evan Marzilli takes over in center field. He's out there in place of Raymond Fuentes.
I tell you, the D-backs did a nice job of battling back here to make it a game now, 6-5 after falling behind early.
Sure have. They've out-hit the Indians 12-10. Jonathan Mendoza leads off the 9th.
Nice velocity there, 95.
Still 0-2. Five years in the minor leagues for Arias. 31-19 and ERA just over 5. Arias has spent the last several years pitching in the Mexican leagues. 32-year-old left-hander.
getting ahead 0-2. He's falling back even with the count now, 2-2.
Fly ball to left field. Gobert's there. One away. There's Jod Carter. Took over in left field for Michael Brantley.
It seems to me like Cleveland brought their non-starters are all like scrappy guys, like little short guys that are
all guys who spent last year playing rookie ball or short season ball. The Kitty Core, 0-1. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Cleveland handles the start of the season, because they play those 2 games Thursday and Friday against the Diamondbacks here at Chase Field. And then they open the season Monday in Texas. So they'll be here at the end of this week. Then they'll go to Arlington, Texas. They open up April 3rd against the Rangers. Then they come right back here for a 3-game series over the weekend against the D-backs.
And I tell you, it's going to feel like we're playing the Colorado Rockies. You know how we play them so many times. When we were spring training in Tucson, it felt like we knew the White Sox players better than we did our own.
So that's counting today, 6 televised games against the Indians over less than 2 weeks. You know, the schedule makers didn't do the Diamondbacks any favors. Remember last year, for the first 3-4 weeks, the only non-NL West team we played was the Cubs. Well, this year it's the Indians, who were both in the World Series last year. Hold on there, John. That's a strike. It's 3-2. Diamondbacks play all of April against the NL West, with the exception of those 3 games against Cleveland.
Yeah, I think one thing too with these young players, when they get in the game, it's getting late in the game. If you don't have a last name on the back of your jersey, you need to be swinging the bat. Anything close. It's an old trick I was taught early in my career. They usually pass that along to some of the rookie guys when they're coming up.
Well, sure enough, he belts it into left field, a 1-out single. Well, here is Logan Ice, the catcher.
Take a ground ball right here, get us out of the inning.
Logan Ice, an Oregon State Beaver, played his college ball at Corvallis. And this young man, a 2nd-round pick by the Indians in last year's draft out of Oregon State. He's only played 39 games in his professional career. Played last year in the New York Penn League.
We talked about rushing players up to the big leagues. Here's another example. The guy was playing college ball, went and played a short season. Now he's in a big league spring training game.
Playing college ball this time a year ago.
They wet the palate a little bit and get them a little taste of this. Sometimes this will ignite some players and get them to work even harder.
2-2 to Logan Ice.
See if I run into this guy somewhere down in minor leagues this year, Ice, and see what walk-up song they're playing, if it's going to be the Ice Ice Baby that you predicted.
Oh, when your name is Ice, you don't need a nickname. He's got that covered. Little guy up there, 5'10", 195. From Tacoma. Swings through a fastball. Arias gets the strikeout, 2 down.
Here's a pitch from Arias here. An elevated fastball up in the zone, 93 miles an hour, put it right by him.
There's Trenton Brooks now. Out of Nevada, Reno. He was also drafted in last year's draft by Cleveland, a 17th round pick out of Nevada. Aram, Flores, and Freeman due up in the bottom of the 9th for the D-backs. That one is a foul ball. He just missed.
D-backs caught a break there with that ball just going foul. Got this kid coming up. Gonna face a guy coming out of the pen throwing 93 to 95 miles an hour.
Lefty.
There's a happy youngster right there getting that foul ball.
Took 9 innings, but he hung in.
There's a reason he didn't want his dad to take him out of the stadium yet.
1-2. Indians with 11 hits. So Cleveland has now recorded double-digit hit totals in 6 straight games, and 12 of their last 16. They have more hits this spring than any team in the majors. Called strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Arias, who strands the 1-out single. Diamondbacks coming up down 1, bottom 9. To 11, but they trail at 6-5 as we start the bottom of the 9th inning. And the former Dodger Carlos Frias back out there for his 2nd inning of work. And Marty Harum will lead off the D-backs 9th. Artie Harum grew up in River Falls, Wisconsin, played at Wisconsin Whitewater. First pitch swinging, is chopped to third. Seaver can't handle it. Harum's aboard. He's the tying run. Joe Seaver in there for Giovanni Urshela.
Chopping ball right there, swinging bunt almost. The third baseman trying to get in there and make a nice play, but bobbled it off the end of the glove.
They put an E5 on the board, and Rudy Flores steps in. Rudy Flores last year, a full season between Mobile and Visalia. Hit .295 with 19 home runs. 26-year-old out of Florida International. And then after that, he spent his winter playing winter ball in Venezuela. 21st round pick in the draft 5 years ago.
Oh, nice swing right there.
What did you like about that?
Just a nice pass. He was not going to get cheated there with a fastball. He's looking for something to drive, see if he can get something up and out of the ballpark. Talked about his home run power, 19.
Yeah. Two and two. Frias had a little bit of a shaky 8th inning. He gave up 3 hits, all singles. Ronnie Freeman, the catcher, on deck. They get one, the force on Harum, and they turn the double play. Nicely done by Cantu at first. Ulysses Cantu, 2 down. So it's up to Ronnie Freeman. Don't forget, fans, our special D-backs season preview show immediately follows our ball game on Fox Sports Arizona. The D-backs season preview brought to you by Chaz Roberts. We'll sit down with Taijuan Walker, Mike Hazen, Torey Lovello, AJ Pollock, Gonzo with an interview in Spanish with David Peralta. Gracie makes his 2017 debut on that program as well. Brandon Webb, Todd Walsh, Cavalcade of Stars coming up next. And we're on TV again tomorrow. We'll pick up the Angels feed for you. Diamondbacks and Angels here from Scottsdale. 1 o'clock start tomorrow afternoon. And Bob and I are back with you for the 2 games against these Indians at Chase Field Thursday and Friday. Those are night games. Both exhibitions. High fly ball to left. Carter's there, and this will do it. Indians get 5 in the first. They hang on and win it 6-5. Diamondbacks, Gonzo, chipped away, but the fall 1-run shot.
Yeah, they did, and I think Robbie Ray had a rough first inning there, and after that settled in a little bit until he got thrown out of the ball game. But other than that, he's going to have to put this start behind him and hopefully get that one out of the way and continue on here these last couple games of spring training, get ready to go for the season.
So the Diamondbacks now 13-13-2 on the spring this year. They drop this one to the defending American League champion Cleveland Indians. 6-5 your final score. For our whole crew, we want to thank you for watching Diamondbacks baseball here on Fox Sports Arizona. And coming up next, it's the D-backs season preview show presented by Chaz Roberts. We'll see you again tomorrow with the Angels feed here from Salt River, then Thursday and Friday at Chase Field. So long, everybody. Season preview is next.